Chapter 773. Dashing out of the cabin, they flew into space that was still filled with the shock waves of the explosion. Luo Feng's gaze swept about. All he could see was the remains of the destroyed universe ship. He couldn't see any enemies at all. "Everybody be careful," Leader Taiwa shouted. At the same time, he immediately kept the rest cabin into his world ring. He didn't feel the pinch from the destruction of the universe ship. The most expensive part of the entire ship was the rest cabin that was made entirely of F9 grade tungsten essence. "Where are the enemies?" Rock's gaze was like lightning, standing in space and looking about. "Recruit, don't panic. Just be careful and be on guard. Leave the rest to us." The lady laughed. The other old soldiers all had smiles on their faces too. However, they too carefully looked about. They had been through too many storms and waves. Even in the face of danger, they could still maintain a relatively calm state of mind. "Since the enemies aren't showing themselves, let's go." Taiwa fiercely flew forward. So. The other 9 team members quickly followed their captain and tore through the void, fleeing into the distance. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the universe space, 9 distant locations were Luo Feng's group's front, back, left, right, above, and below. These 9 points simultaneously shot out glaring lightning, piercing through space. In the actual universe, even the strongest undyings couldn't instantly reach light speed. However, lightning, light, etc., the moment it was shot out, it would reach light speed. And Luo Feng's group required a certain amount of time to accelerate before they could reach light speed. As for the universe ship, it would take a while to reach light speed. Therefore, the lightning that burst forth from the 9 spots connected in an instant, forming a huge lightning cage. The huge lightning cage completely enveloped Luo Feng's group within. Chi. The moment the lightning cage formed, countless lightning snakes pierced through space. The entire 100 million kilometers diameter of the cage was filled with countless lightning snakes. Without a doubt, Luo Feng's group of 10 were naturally attacked by the lightning snakes. "Lightning prison! It's lightning prison!" The veterans, on the other hand, exclaimed through voice transmissions. "Quickly leave. This is an automaton technique, and it's a warrior from the automaton race. We're in big trouble," Taiwa communicated. Immediately, Thuo took the lead, and the 9 members quickly followed him and fled. However, Luo Feng and Rock, these 2 new recruits, were filled with suspicions. Why run? This thunder hell posed no threat at all. If that lightning pillar directly shoots at us, if it hits us, it might be able to instantly kill the Realm Lord. But these lightning pillars form this lightning cage. The lightning snakes it shoots out are over 100 million km in diameter. Sector Lord Level 1 and Level 2 probably can't kill it, right? There's no danger at all. The newbie Rock asked. "What's so scary about the Thunder Prison?" Luo Feng asked while fleeing. For the strong warriors of the elite Sector Lord teams, it was normal for them to be multitasking. Conversing while fleeing was very normal. "Recruit, you'll see in a moment. We're in big trouble this time. This Thunder Prison isn't something that an ordinary machine race can set up." Poison's small face was solemn. Luo Feng nodded. With his broad horizons, he could tell at a glance that a lightning prison with a diameter of more than 100 million kilometers would probably cost at least 1 million mixed elements to set up successfully. The automaton race was good at this, so the cost might be lower. However, it would probably still cost over 100,000 mixed elements. It wasn't something a normal sector Lord level automaton race could set up. As for the energy consumption of this thunder prison, it wasn't shocking at all. This was because the lightning snakes were constantly moving about within the thunder prison. If there was no one in the thunder prison, the lightning snakes would be able to move about endlessly, forming an energy cycle. The consumption was infinitely close to zero. Energy cycle, like the AAA god bases, those huge bases with colorful energy barriers, were able to defend against the Universe Knight's attacks. However, that energy barrier was constantly maintained. As long as it wasn't attacked, then the energy would be able to circulate without any loss. Just as Luo Feng and his team were about to flee, Suddenly, rumble, from the 9 cardinal points of the Thunder Prison, a dense amount of light suddenly shot out. This dense amount of light swiftly surrounded Luo Feng's team from 9 directions. This forced Luo Feng's team, who had just accelerated to escape, to have no choice but to reduce their speed. This was because there were large amounts of light swiftly rushing towards them. Their automatons, Luo Feng could tell at a glance. From afar, they looked like dots of light. If one looked closely, they would be able to tell. These were silver robots that were about 12 meters tall. Each of these silver robots carried a heavy alloy sword on their back. At the same time, there were electric snakes running around the surface of their alloy bodies. When the countless electric snakes in the Thunder Prison touched them, they were not affected in the slightest. It's the Thunder Automatons. Taiwo emphasized, we're in big trouble. The Thunder Prison paired with the Thunder Automaton Army is a rather common combination of the automaton race. However, it's also a very terrifying combination. Normally, only the automaton Undyings will be able to make such a huge move. The 9 team members all listened to Tai's orders. Luo Feng felt his weakness. He was very familiar with the human race's battle style. However, as for the foreign race's battle style, even though he had looked up some information through the virtual universe network, the information was too vague. For example, the automaton race's information stated that the automaton race was essentially an intelligent life form. Every automaton race member represented an automaton empire. By relying on the resources in their hands, various arrangements, meticulous and terrifying control, cooperation, and strategies, they would be able to form all sorts of terrifying attacks. Everyone listened to my orders. Follow me and break through as fast as you can. We need to rush out of the Thunder Prison as soon as possible. Taiwo ordered. Yes. The 9 team members replied. Immediately, the entire team began to move with shocking speed. As the Thunder Prison was huge, Luo Feng's elite team tried their best to avoid the Thunder Automaton Army. In the distant, dilapidated flying ship cabin, the automaton Pilati smiled. Still thinking of escaping? 6th Army, Plan CI-9, proceed. These automatons are rather weak. They shouldn't be able to catch up. Luo Feng's team dodged the pursuing automaton army and swiftly fled. The nearest mechanical puppet army suddenly absorbed a large number of electric snakes. In an instant, all the electric snakes wandering in the Thunder Prison were absorbed. The more than 100,000 electromechanical puppets seemed to have formed an electric circuit. Countless electric snakes wandered and gathered, and dazzling electric balls appeared on the bodies of 21 mechanical puppets. Boom, 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 boom. The 21 lightning balls formed a special, mysterious pattern, and like a lightning fishing net, it shot out in an instant. So, the lightning fishing net shot out at light speed. When it caught up to Luo Feng's elite team, the powerful restraining force swiftly descended. This lightning fishing net immediately enveloped the entire team. The restraining force trapped the entire team. This was actually an energy attack infused with the space laws. Luo Feng couldn't help but be shocked. Roar! Captain Taiwo roared. His undying god energy and law domain exploded simultaneously. Countless yellow dots of light shot out in a 10,000 kilometers area. Every dot was terrifyingly heavy. They struck the huge lightning fishing net. The undying god energy too swiftly struck. Open for me. The Mother Flame Race's hammer hollered and used his hammer to smash the net. Break! Sector Lord Kray's dance also controlled his spirit weapon, one of the 9 godly weapons of spirit readers, the God-splitting weapon. That God-splitting weapon immediately formed a dazzling light wheel, crazily chopping towards the lightning net. Break! A white-robed Sector Lord God floated behind him and emitted a misty light. The surrounding space began to distort and tear. The 9 members all unleashed their techniques. Luo Feng, too, unleashed the Nanshan armament. However, this lightning fishing net didn't have much attack power. However, it managed to trap all the team members. In the distance, one of the 9 armies had already rushed over. The others swiftly rushed over. Pong! Captain Taiwo roared. He finally destroyed the 10 kilometers area of the lightning fishing net. At the same time, the entire net immediately collapsed. Rumble! The moment the originally stable thunder net collapsed, the powerful thunder energy within immediately exploded and caused a chain reaction, immediately tearing apart the surrounding space. The powerful energy ripples also rushed towards Luo Feng's team. However, Tai was able to withstand it. Captain! Rock looked worriedly at the captain. I'm fine, Taiwo roared. Attention all, looks like this battle is going to be troublesome. The automaton army has already surrounded us. To avoid this battle, looks like it's impossible. What's there to avoid? Anyway, heading to the destination is a battle. Staying here is a battle too. Poison, however, licked his lips, his eyes gleaming. Hammer nodded. The other team members' eyes were burning with fighting spirit. Succubus, Wei, you two be careful, Taiwo ordered. Protecting ourselves is no problem. Killing the enemies will depend on you two. Against the automaton race, us hypnotists will be useless. The skeletal skinny Wei snorted and communicated. Every hypnotist actually knew how to control spirit weapons. However, everyone had their own specialties. They definitely weren't too proficient in spirit weapons. The space swiftly repaired itself. And around the Sector Lord Elite team, there were already 3 automaton armies gathered. Every army had over 100,000 automatons. With a glance, they had already surrounded Luo Feng and his team. In the distance, the other 6 automaton armies were rushing over with sublight speed. They only needed a few seconds to completely surround them. I wonder how they'll deal with this. Luo Feng was very calm. The so-called automaton army, he only needed to take out the undying star eating grass. And when the undying star eating grass returned to its original form, every vine was over 1,000,000 km long. It was enough to wrap around all the automatons, far away in the cabin of the broken spaceship. The plan is complete. It's time to reap the rewards. Parati said softly in his alloy chair. 1 undying, 9 sector lords, at most will lose 27% and we'll be able to deal with them. P.S. Chapter 2 has ended. Tomato, continue writing Chapter 3. Chapter 774. In space, the 3 armies surrounding Luo Feng's team immediately launched their attacks. Kill. Die. These automatons were all 12 m tall, uniformly pulling out the huge alloy blades on their backs, after which they let out roars and roars, immediately attacking Luo Feng's team of 10. 10 people against 1,000,000 thunder mechanical golems? To be surrounded and attacked by 1,000,000 automatons in space. Just this scene alone was enough to make the inexperienced new recruit Rock tremble. Kill. The Mother Flame clan fighter Hammer roared, releasing his world projection, restricting the speed of the surrounding automatons. He also wielded a huge shield, easily blocking the attacks of the automatons. The automatons were 12 m tall. With this size, it made it impossible for there to be many of them attacking him at the same time. This hammer was naturally able to block them easily. One hand wielding the shield, the other wielding the huge hammer. Rumble. The sledgehammer struck a mechanical puppet's chest at lightning speed. Chi. The mechanical puppet's alloy chest was slightly dented, and at the same time, its entire body was sent flying. The other mechanical puppets behind it flickered nimbly and easily dodged this mechanical puppet. Recruit. Use heavy attacks. These automatons are all made of E9 grade alloy. To completely destroy their bodies is too much effort. It's not worth it. Just use heavy attacks. Shatter the intricate machinery within their bodies. These mass-produced automatons definitely won't cost too much. One hammer strike. Even if their bodies are still intact, they won't be able to move. The Mother Flame clan's hammer communicated to Luo Feng and Rock. Rock unleashed his world projection, wielding 2 blades in his hands. Understood. Boulder replied telepathically, madly attacking the automatons. Every blade brought with it a peculiar vibration. When it landed on the automatons, even though it only left a small mark on the surface, seemingly unharmed. In truth, The automatons' insides were instantly destroyed. As long as they were hit, they would just stand there stupidly and not move. A wild gust of wind swept through the swarm of thunder and lightning mechanical puppets. A strong wind blew. Wherever the wind blew, there was a cold saber light. When the saber light flashed, only 1/3 of the electrocuted puppets lost their combat prowess. This was Whirlwind, one of the 9-sector Lord Battle Generals. He could be said to be the fastest amongst the 7 old soldiers. Whirlwind, you're at a disadvantage. In the distance, the succubus controlled a circle of water to surround her. That water, like spirit weapon, easily blocked the surrounding thunder automaton puppets. At least more than you, Whirlwind said in a low voice. The many-world overlord generals were all able to easily deal with their enemies. Other than the illusionist, the succubus, the other-world overlords were all able to slaughter without restraint. Even the illusionist way was also controlling a Nan Shun armament, executing the 7th level of the Nan Shun armament, rod blasting heaven and earth. A golden pillar that was about 20 centimeters thick and 6 meters long blasted towards the surrounding thunder mechanical puppets. This move was called One Rod Shattering Heaven and Earth, and it was a classic heavy attack. Once hit, the thunder mechanical puppets would naturally collapse one by one. Madman, your attainment in the Nanshan armament is quite high. The 8th level, Golden Blade slicing through space? Or even the 9th level Undying? The illusionist Wei communicated. Luo Feng's killing efficiency was extremely high. He too was unleashing the Nanshan armament's 7th level, One Rod Shattering Heaven and Earth. However, the golden pillar he unleashed brought along a huge blurry silhouette, sweeping through the surroundings time and time again. That Nanshan armament's golden pillar rolled and destroyed 10 of the puppets. With a sweep of the pillar, another circle of puppets fell. This golden pillar seemed to encompass space itself. It was heavy and heavy. His killing efficiency was shockingly high. As long as one wasn't an idiot, they could tell that to be able to unleash the 7th level One Rod Shattering Heaven and Earth to such a terrifying level, Luo Feng's limit definitely wasn't the 7th level. It should be the 8th, or even the highest 9th level. Hence the illusionist Wei would say that. This Thunder Automaton army shouldn't be this weak. Luo Feng controlled the Nanshan armament and easily swept through the surrounding puppets. They probably still have something up their sleeves. The automatons, compared to the bug soldiers, are much weaker. The automatons are, after all, just machines. One heavy attack, and it'll damage their insides and make them unable to function. Luo Feng thought, and the bug soldiers are actually already considered life forms. And in terms of production cost, the bug soldiers are much higher. The E9 grade automatons were just large robots made from E9 grade alloys. Probably even 1,000 of them would only be able to compare to a 100m diameter E9 grade universe ship. Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Soldiers. One bug soldier's production cost could be even higher than an E9 grade universe ship. The production cost alone was enough to tell the difference. I'll collect. The apothecary, Poison, stood in the air. 2 long, dark green vines extended from his armor, sweeping at the mechanical golems around him. One by one, the thunder mechanical golems lost the ability to fight back after being hit, and Poison quickly collected them into his world ring. Everyone, after you've destroyed those automatons, collect them all. Let the enemy's heart ache. Haha, the most valuable part of these automatons is their body's alloy. One isn't worth much, but 1,000 of them. That's comparable to a universe ship. 10,000 of them will earn big. Poison was extremely excited. Right, collect. The charm lady nodded. Collect them all. Make his heart ache. When he does, he'll retreat. Let the enemy know he's kicked a metal board. Captain Tai will laugh loudly. While laughing, he used his law domain to carefully observe the surrounding endless thunder automatons army. Even though they had lost close to 10,000 automatons, compared to the 9 armies total of 1 million, this loss was only 1%. In the distant broken ship cabin, Parrot T sat in his alloy chair and smiled. We've already gathered First, we'll trap the Undying and kill the 9 sector lords. After that, we'll surround and kill the Undying. The massacre begins. In space, the 10 sector lord humans surrounded by the densely packed million automatons finally had a change in expression. Captain, Captain, be careful. The other members could clearly see that within the million automatons, 3,000 bolts of lightning suddenly shot out, surrounding the Captain Taiwa. These 3,000 bolts of lightning all contain space law attacks. The countless automatons around madly absorbed the lightning, simultaneously sending it to the 3,000 core puppets. The 3,000 core thunder automatons were attacking Taiwa from all sides. Scram. Taiwa roared and appeared in front of one of the mechanical golems in a flash. He then punched it. Pung. The mechanical marionette was sent flying. The E9 grade alloy on its body's surface exploded, revealing the pure purple metal inside. When the outer layer of E9 grade alloy exploded, it finally revealed its true appearance. Completely made out of pure purple metal, this purple metal automaton, after being punched away by the Undying, seemed completely unharmed. It once again flew over and joined the other 2,999 puppets to surround and attack. In the distance, Luo Feng's expression changed slightly as he looked. It's actually an F8 grade pure metal purple C iron mechanical puppet. Looks like the 3,000 core puppets attacking the captain are all F8 grade puppets. This is troublesome. These high-end automatons, just a heavy strike alone won't be able to destroy them. Purple third iron essence. It's purple third iron essence. Those aren't E9 grade automatons. Those are the expensive F grade automatons. The expressions of the 7 old soldiers changed. They no longer had the mood to relax. A million E9 grade automatons were probably only comparable to 100 F8 grade automatons. Just these 3,000 F8 grade automatons were enough to easily deal with an Undying Taiwa. Countless normal automatons, absorbing the Thunder Prison's energy and transferring it to the F8 grade automatons, allowing the 3,000 F8 grade automatons to completely suppress the captain. Luo Feng thought. Careful, there are other F8 grade automatons. Captain Tai would communicated anxiously. Indeed so. Rumble, 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 rumble. Countless bolts of thunder were transferred to the 800 automatons. These 800 automatons immediately surrounded Luo Feng and the other sector lords. Hypnotist Guard and Hypnotist Enchantress were each attacked by 50 automatons. Hammer, Whirlwind, God, Rock, including Luo Feng, the 7 of them were surrounded and attacked by the 100 core automatons. And they were unleashing a combined Origin Law attack. It was ridiculously powerful. This is troublesome. Poison, poison, save me. Enchantress' expression changed greatly, shouting, "Everybody fight it out." Chemist Poison communicated, "Take out your trump cards. Don't be too stingy. If the treasures are gone, you can exchange them with merit points. However, if your life is gone, it's really gone." Dark green vines quickly extended from the surface of the pharmacist Poison's body, spreading out in all directions. Each vine was hundreds of kilometers long, directly wrapping around a large number of ordinary mechanical puppets and sweeping them away. Ow! Hammer 2 raised his head and roared. The rhombus crystal on his forehead suddenly lit up. His entire body immediately grew by a size. Kill! The white armored god's entire body glowed with a glaring white light. The book in his hands once again split apart, countless shards fusing with the spear on his back, becoming an even more ancient spear. I'll have to spend some energy. The calmest person in the Sector Lord team was probably Luo Feng. His gaze landed on the Nanshan armament. The 9th level, even an Undying can be defeated, is enough to sweep through these stupid automatons. Wong. The dark golden long rod on Luo Feng's back immediately disintegrated. That golden pillar too completely disintegrated. Countless little golden blades swiftly reassembled and formed together, forming the perfect form of the Nanshan armament. The golden blade of the Nanshan, a 3. 3M, long, seemingly normal-looking golden blade. Golden God Blade? Even an undying can be defeated? 9th level? This scene caused the Otherworld Lord Battle Generals to be shocked. P.S. 3 chapters completed, as I have to continuously unleash my power from today till the end of the month. Too many tomatoes can't take it. 3 chapters a day until the end of the month. This was Tomato's promise. Work hard. You'll definitely be number 1 in the monthly votes. Right now, you're still lacking 300 votes. Chapter 775. The F-grade Thunder Puppets. Even though their bodies were made of metal and had strong defense, their attacks were extremely weak. Fortunately, there were countless E-grade mechanical puppets absorbing the large amount of lightning energy provided by the lightning purgatory and transferring it to the core F-grade mechanical puppet, which caused their attack power to become much stronger. But even so, a single F-grade lightning automaton was only equivalent to a sector lord general in terms of battle strength. Bastard, these punks sure are hard to deal with. Taiwa raged. 3,000 F-grade automatons were spread out around Taiwa, surrounding him tightly. They continued to absorb the energy from the countless E-grade puppets, using this to attack Taiwa over and over again. Maybe he didn't care about one F-grade puppet's attacks, however 3,000 of them. As long as a third of them all hit him, it would be a nightmare. Luckily, he was quick enough to dodge. Rumble, rumble. Taiwa knocked away the F-grade puppets over and over again, causing the number of puppets surrounding him to decrease. However, in a short while, the puppets that were knocked away once again flew back, completely unharmed. No matter how fast Taiwa's attacks were. At the same time, the number of F-grade puppets surrounding him didn't decrease by more than 2,500. Just like that, Taiwa was trapped by the 3,000 F-grade puppets, unable to break out of the encirclement. Everybody be careful. These F-grade puppets, after absorbing large amounts of lightning energy, are all akin to sector lord generals. Taiwa communicated anxiously. Poison. We'll rely on you. The enemy doesn't know your strength. Go all out. Put the demonic maiden, Wei, and the others into your world ring. And Madman. Taiwa observed the battlefield and discovered Luo Feng's intrepid nature. You can unleash the 9th level of the Nanshan armament. You can help the others. Understood. Understood. Poison and Luo Feng replied simultaneously. Poison relied on the large amount of dark green vines that extended from the surface of his armor, sweeping up a large number of ordinary mechanical golems in the surroundings, wantonly sweeping them in all directions. Immediately, the entire mechanical golem army was in chaos, and the 100 F-grade mechanical golems that were besieging Poison were simply unable to absorb enough lightning energy. In fact, everyone present could see that those F-grade mechanical golems were actually just large pieces of metal. A dead metal with no attacking ability. The reason why they were so strong was because countless normal puppets were absorbing the lightning hell energy and transferring it over. Without the lightning hell, these F-grade puppets wouldn't be a threat at all. Without large amounts of normal puppets, the absorption rate of the F-grade puppets will be thousands to tens of thousands of times lower. Poison, be careful. Luo Feng communicated. Out of the original 800 F-rank mechanical golems, a total of 400 of them actually besieged Poison. The other 400 surrounded Luo Feng and the other 8. Little punks. Luo Feng stood on the Dark Cloud shuttle and controlled the Nanshan Goldblade. Xiao. The Nanshan Golden Sword was like a ghost, flickering in and out of existence. In an instant, it pierced through the void and disappeared from sight. At the same time, it reappeared a few hundred meters away. Rumble. The Nanshan Gold Blade slammed into one of the F-grade automaton puppets. The 9th level of the Nanshan armament was able to injure normal undyings. One could only imagine its strength. Boom! That F-grade mechanical golem was instantly sent flying far away by the bombardment, tumbling about chaotically. Rumble. Rumble blee. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble. The gold blade was as fast as a demon, piercing through space and hitting the many F-grade puppets. One had to know the gold blade had the ability to pierce through space. How terrifying was its movement speed? It definitely far surpassed the undying tie was movement speed. As long as one hadn't reached the level of teleportation, in terms of speed alone, they definitely couldn't compare to the gold blade. Even Tai could send close to 500 F-grade puppets flying in a short amount of time. As for the 50 automaton puppets surrounding Luo Feng, in the blink of an eye, the Nanshan gold blade had already attacked 50 times like lightning, knocking the 50 F-grade puppets away. Xiao! Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and flashed, swiftly heading towards Demon Lady, who was having the hardest time defending. Demon Lady. Luo Feng was like lightning. The Nanshan gold blade flashed continuously, and the 50 F-grade puppets were all knocked away. Madman, madman, I love you to death. Demon Lady, who was in an incredibly difficult situation, suddenly shouted excitedly, "Quickly keep me in your world ring." So, Demon Lady was kept in his world ring. Bastard. Poison gritted his teeth. He had already taken out a bottle of colorful liquid. However, when he saw Luo Feng explode, he immediately laughed and kept the bottle. On the battlefield, Luo Feng was as fast as lightning as he pierced through the puppet army. Simultaneously, the gold blade pierced through space and reappeared. His attack speed was terrifying. Ha ha ha! This time a captain's new recruit sure is powerful, madman. I truly respect you. The illusionist Wei, who was also having a hard time dealing with the 50 F-grade puppets, immediately laughed loudly. He even blew Luo Feng a kiss. Obviously, escaping death made him very excited. Southway was kept in Luo Feng's world ring too. One had to know that Luo Feng had casually acquired 100 world rings in Wulong Starfield. World rings, he had plenty of them. Quickly come to me. Hammer shouted urgently. I can't hold on much longer. Hammer was an incredibly intrepid fighter. His attack and defense were strong. However, his agility was much weaker. He was often hit by the F-grade puppets. If it wasn't for his natural abilities, he would have died long ago. So, as the 50 F-grade puppets were knocked flying, Hammer was kept in Luo Feng's world ring too. Madman, you're amazing. The new recruit, Rock, also praised in admiration. Ah, the first time I saw Madman, I knew he was a powerful warrior. Ah, look how powerful, how sharp. 50 F-grade puppets are like toys in front of his Nanshan gold blade. The last level of the 9 godly armaments is indeed powerful. The white armored sector Lord God laughed happily. Hee, we'll be lucky from now on. Ha! The fighter Whirlwind laughed too. They were all kept in Luo Feng's world ring. Right now, there were only 4 left under the attacks of the puppet army. Taiwa, Poison, Luo Feng, and Madwu. Kuang Wu was a spirit reader, using the fusion of wind and space, the god-rending armament. Now that Kuang Wu was using the god-rending armament, it was comparable to the Nanshan armament's 8th level, the void-slicing golden sword. Furthermore, the god-rending armament's speed was shocking, relying on itself to easily block those 50 F-grade automaton puppets. Ha, madman, come and help me. Taiwa shouted excitedly. I'm coming. Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and swiftly rushed forward, controlling the Nanshan gold blade. Wong! The Nanshan gold blade became countless blade images. In the blink of an eye, over 100 F-grade puppets were knocked flying tens of thousands of kilometers. And this was only because there were large amounts of normal puppets blocking it. Otherwise, it would be normal for them to be knocked a million km away. Shwa! 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 The Nanshan gold blade was as fast as lightning, appearing and disappearing from time to time. The normal puppets couldn't affect its speed at all. Being able to travel through space was simply too heavenly, making it terrifyingly fast. In an instant, 500 mechanical puppets had already been sent flying far away. When the first puppet flew back, Luo Feng had already knocked away a total of 2,000 F-grade puppets. Taiwa took the chance to escape the encirclement. Ha, madman, well done. Taiwa was very happy. Rumble, The thunder puppet army that had surrounded Luo Feng's little team suddenly began to swiftly retreat in 9 different directions. Even the thunder hell that had been activated all this while shut down. They've left. They've retreated. Mad Wu, Poison, Taiwa, and Luo Feng looked at the huge army retreating in 9 different directions. Should we chase? Luo Feng asked. We can't. Taiwa shook his head. To be able to make such a huge move, he definitely has an origin crystal comparable to a normal Undying's explosion. Even the cheapest flame god crystal is very expensive. Using it to attack us is a huge loss for him. However, if we continue to chase and provoke him into going all out, one flame god crystal's explosion, if we're not careful, we're all doomed. Luo Feng was shocked when he heard this. Flame god crystal. When he had told Yinzhu Emperor about it back then, he had mentioned the flame god crystal. A low-level flame god crystal, comparable to a normal flame Undying's explosion. With Luo Feng's current authority, after discounting, he could exchange for one for 600,000 points. In the automaton race that was proficient in manufacturing, they probably had even lower costs. It was normal for the mechanical race member who could set up the Thunder Hell to have a flame god crystal or something like that to protect himself. If I'm not wrong, this Thunder Puppet army should have suffered huge losses before they even attacked us. Poison smiled. We've been through similar battles before. Looking at the controller's control and resources, he definitely could have done better. In the distance, within the broken ship's cabin, sitting in the alloy chair, Pilati roared, one with a Sector Lord level 9 plant life form, and the other with a Nanshan armament to the 9th level. How can my luck be so bad to actually meet such a rare human Sector Lord team? If it wasn't for the loss from killing the official level Undying and the entire Thunder Hell system being damaged, how could I have let you all escape? Count yourselves lucky. I hope we don't meet again. Within the space, Taiwa retrieved another E9 grade ship. Captain, this ship is exactly the same as the last one. The only difference is that the resting area is empty. Luo Feng smiled and said, It's not empty now. Taiwa stood within the ship's pathway and pointed ahead. South. The resting area appeared out of thin air and was stuck in many slots, forming a perfect hole. Luo Feng and the other 3 immediately entered the resting area. Haha, I ordered 600 of these E9 grade spaceships in one go. Taiwa smiled. They're all the same. The highest speed they can reach in the dark universe is 1. 2 times light speed, and the engravings on the surface are very simple. They can be said to be the cheapest E9 grade ships. However, after so many years of the 600 I ordered back then, 182 have been destroyed. By the way, you can release the others. Luo Feng nodded and with a thought. Immediately Tornado, Wei, God, Rock, Demon Lady, and Hammer all appeared. The 9 members and Captain all gathered together. Madman, Demon Lady said, I love you to death. Haha, we have another strong warrior in our team. The resting area was filled with cheers. Chapter 776. The disc-shaped E9 grade universe ship flew carefully in space at sublight speed, avoiding many seemingly dangerous areas. Within the resting cabin of the ship, everybody sit. Taiwa smiled as he sat on the sofa, using his undying energy to control the wine bottles and cups, pouring 10 cups of delicious fruit wine. The crystal-clear cups floated in front of the 10 of them. Taiwa raised his cup. Let's raise our cups. Taiwa said, Aha. The 9 members all laughed loudly, raising their cups at the same time. To the luck of this battle, to the 2 outstanding new recruits, cheers. Taiwa said loudly, Cheers! Cheers! The group of Sector Lords all laughed. If they were placed in their respective starfields, they would all be heroes of a region. However, they chose to come to the foreign battleground because they still had a burning desire in their hearts. They longed to become even stronger, longed to fight against even more powerful experts. Same old rules. First reflect on the battle before. Taiwa put down his wine glass. In the previous battle, everything was under the control of the mechanical race's enemy. Whether it was the arrangement of the Thunder Prison, the siege of the 9 great thunder mechanical puppets, or the 3,000 F-grade mechanical puppets trapping me and using their power to kill you. Everything was within his plan. The 9 members all listened intently. The other old soldiers did well. All of them were not far from me and Poison when they met with danger. Poison was able to risk it all and save you all. Taiwo revealed a smile. The 2 new recruits did well too, of which I'm very satisfied with Rock. He's not any weaker than the old soldiers. I believe after some training, he'll become even stronger. Of course, our battle, the happiest thing is we've gained a strong member. Madman. Taiwo looked at Luo Feng. Madman. Madman. The group looked at Luo Feng, laughing and cheering. In a foreign battlefield where danger lurked, to have a strong member was a very fortunate thing. Because of Madman's appearance, we don't need Poison to risk it all. We've also saved a precious medicine. Taiwo looked at the child like Poison squatting on the sofa. Poison, you'll have it easy from now on. Hee hee. Poison grinned at Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked shocked at Poison. This chemist was very strong? Madman. Her voice caused one's body to go numb. Poison is our team's second strongest. He once defeated an Undying head-on. Defeat an Undying? Luo Feng looked shocked at the Poison. What? Rock cried out in alarm. Even a 9th level of the Nan Shun armament. Even an Undying can fight. Normally speaking, it would only be able to fight and preserve one's life, not defeat. Of course, on the 13th, 14th, and 15th levels, they all use this move. Among them, the 15th level opponents, Undying, can be defeated already had the ability to kill normal Undyings. But that was the 15th level of the Sky Crossing Bridge, the doorstep of an official level Undying. Such an absolute genius could even become a Sector Lord Core member of the Virtual Universe Company. I mainly relied on my innate ability, potions, and the plant life that I cultivated. Poison chuckled. A single potion costs nearly 80 mixed elements to successfully concoct. Hee hee, Madman, you've saved me 80 mixed elements. Come, cheers. Luo Feng raised his cup, his heart filled with respect. Chemists were able to create special potions, and even according to their own needs, they could cultivate some special plant life forms. To be able to do this, he's really powerful. Luo Feng thought. Besides the captain and Poison Madman, you're already the 3rd strongest in the team. Crazy Dan smiled. 3rd, and it doesn't require potions like Poison. The others laughed and spoke. This battle, the Sector Lord team also recognized the abilities of the 2 new recruits, truly accepting them from the bottom of their hearts. Especially the new recruit Madman. He was recognized as the 3rd strongest in the team. Luo Feng, however, was very calm. He didn't really care about the rankings, even though his Earth body had the ability to kill normal Undyings. The universe ship continued to advance. In a blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Even though they met with 2 sneak attacks, they were easily dealt with. After all, an elite Sector Lord team, led by an Undying and 9 Sector Lord warriors, wasn't something that just anyone could afford to offend. This was also the reason why they had to head to specific destinations. Because in other places, the opponents were too weak and the accumulation of points was too slow. The previous 2 sneak attacks, the opponents we met were really weak. Also, the moment they saw us have an Undying, they were so scared they fled. It's really boring. This way of accumulating points is too slow. Within the resting cabin, the team members were bored and chatting. Another 2 days, and we'll reach our destination 001289038484 Space Battle Region. Broken Star Belt. Taiwo said, Broken Star Belt is a rather famous place for the strong to battle. Large amounts of alien race warriors are hiding there. It'll allow everyone to enjoy themselves. There's no need to worry about not having a place to accumulate points, only having the ability to get them. Madman. A low and heavy voice resounded. The team's most sturdy and tall hammer looked at Luo Feng. What's your quota? My quota? Luo Feng's eyebrows creased. Every soldier in the outer region battlefield had a quota. They had to accumulate enough points before they could gain their freedom. For example, a new soldier's quota was 1 million. When the new soldier first arrived, he didn't have any points at all. As he killed in the battlefield, he would accumulate points. Once it reached 1 million, the soldier could choose to retire, exchange for treasures, continue to battle, or even fight alone, etc. He had the freedom to choose. And before he reached the full quota, he had to obediently follow orders. Right, what's yours? Madman's quota is probably higher. The Sector Lord team sat in their sofas and looked over. Mine, Luo Feng said casually. It's all right, it's 1 billion. 1 billion? The white armored god stared wide-eyed. I didn't hear wrongly, right? Luo Feng was slightly suspicious as he nodded. Right, 1 billion. Was the number he reported a lot? It should be within the normal range. Damn, 1 billion? My God, it's 1 billion. Even the steady, undying Tai was stood up. The group of old soldiers all looked shocked at Luo Feng. The hypnotist Wei, who was caressing the purple-eyed cat fiercely, turned to look at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, what's your quota? Mine is 200 million. Rock said, that's not bad. It's very impressive. However, Madman is even more insane. He actually got 1 billion. The old soldiers discussed amongst themselves. And the two new soldiers, Luo Feng and Rock, were suspicious. Just what did this quota number mean? Even though Luo Feng's position was high, he had only checked on the things he wanted to know. He hadn't checked on what each number meant. If you interact more with the other sector lords, you'll know. Taiwo exclaimed. As the saying goes, the strong work the most, the stronger one is, the higher his quota will be. When a new soldier joins the outer region battlefield, the quota given to him, it actually shows his strength. And the so-called authority is just a rough judgment of strength. It's only split into normal sector lords, elite sector lords, and sector lord warlords. This is a very vague judgment. All the sector lord warriors, the lowest quota is 1 million. The highest is 1 billion, of which normal sector lord warriors usually get 1 million to 10 million. Elite sector lord warriors are between 10 million to 100 million. Sector Lord Warlords are between 100 million to 1 billion. Taiwa said, those between 100 million to 1 billion are Sector Lord Warlords, and there's still a difference in strength between them, very obviously. Rock, he's actually very outstanding, because he's a new soldier. He's already this strong without going through life and death situations in the outer region battlefield. However, Madman, you're simply... Luo Feng was shocked. 1 billion... That's the upper limit for Sector Lord Warlords. To be given such a high quota, it means one thing. You have strength no weaker than a normal Undying. Taiwa emphasized. The virtual universe system's judgment won't be wrong. You have the strength to fight a normal Undying head-on. The team members were all shocked within, looking at Luo Feng. However, they didn't know. A Sector Lord that could fight a normal Undying indeed had a quota of 1 billion. However, a Sector Lord that could kill a normal Undying, or even fight an official level Undying, similarly had a quota of 1 billion. Because 1 billion was the upper limit for a Sector Lord warrior. How could they know how terrifying Luo Feng's current strength was? In their hearts, to be able to fight a normal Undying head-on. That was already insane enough. So that's how it is. Luo Feng shook his head and smiled. After going through life and death situations in the outer region battlefield, there are many that become Sector Lord Warlords. However, those that can fight a normal Undying head-on are extremely few. In our entire base 026, there are probably only 2 or 3 Sector Lords like that. Taiwo exclaimed. On the contrary, our allies and enemies, the Bug Clan Sector Lord Queen, Automaton's Sector Lords, many of them are able to fight Undyings. Some of the foreign race warriors' talents are simply too insane. Human Sector Lords that can fight normal Undyings are simply too rare. However, our Sector Lord team has won. Taiwa smiled at Luo Feng. Poison 2 looked at Luo Feng. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. Right now, the team had the strength of 3 Undyings. It wasn't like Poison who had to use medicine. Luo Feng had true Undying strength. Then when they reached the asteroid belt, the team's chances of survival would naturally rise by a lot. Woo! Luo Feng could only smile. 1 billion points quota? He really didn't think it was much. This 1 billion was a quota given out by the Army through the virtual universe system. This was already official. Every sector lord's quota was between 1 to 1 billion, and Luo Feng was strong enough. Hence, he was given a quota of 1 billion. However, the virtual universe company's sector lord life and death training had a requirement for Luo Feng too. The requirement was 10 trillion points. Only after completing the 10 trillion could he leave the outer region battlefield. This was Luo Feng's life and death training. One was the Army's requirement. The other was the virtual universe company's sector lord life and death training. One was 1 billion. The other was 10 trillion. Hence, Luo Feng really didn't think 1 billion was much. P.S. The second chapter has arrived. The battle for the monthly votes has already heated up. Please support Tomato. Tomato will continue writing the third chapter. Chapter 777. The Virtual Universe Company had extremely high requirements for every Primal Region sector lord, and Luo Feng, as someone who had passed the domain Lord Primal Sky Mountain and acquired 3 billion points, and was also the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader. One could imagine the Virtual Universe Company's requirements for his life or death training were extremely high. It was definitely the highest of all the Primal Region sector lords. The quota of 10 trillion military merits was also a requirement that was given after careful verification. Time passed. There's still half a day before we reach our destination, the Broken Star Belt. Tai's gaze swept past the 9 sector lord generals, his eyes filled with seriousness. The Broken Star Belt is an extremely dangerous region. Madman and Rock probably know very little about it. Before we arrive, I'll briefly explain it to you two. Luo Feng and Rock listened carefully. Luo Feng didn't dare let his guard down at all. The foreign races had peculiar methods. If he was careless, even if he was strong, he would still be doomed. The entire starfield is filled with battlefields. Battles can erupt everywhere. Taiwo looked at the two. However, there are 2 types of battles. One is army battles. The other is elite squad battles. Like universe levels and domain lords, they are weak. And some of the normal sector lord warriors, without the invitation of the elite teams, can only lead large groups of universe levels and domain lords, forming armies. Taiwo said, these armies, under the leadership of the Undyings, will fight against the other armies of other races. The Undyings of the army will battle against the Undyings, the weak against the weak. And we are different. We are a small team of elite realm lords. A small team is comparable to an army. Taiwo said, however, the elites are after all the minority and the entire 7-star field battlefield. Many places are empty space. With one look, you can see the enemy from afar. If you're not a match, you can escape early. Hence, it's not suitable for battle. Hence, within the 7th battlefield, there are many special battle zones. The 4 pinnacle races lead large amounts of warriors, hiding in these zones, killing each other. It's a bloody mess. It's crazy. The place we're heading to is 001 to 89038484 Space Battle Zone, the Broken Star Belt. It's a rather famous battle zone. Over 1 trillion years, who knows how many foreign races have fallen here. Taiwo gently tapped in midair. Immediately, the light converged to form a projection screen, and a star map automatically appeared on the screen. This is the Calamitous Star Belt. Talvo pointed at the image on the screen. Luo Feng looked carefully. The Calamitous Star Belt was like an area where a large number of meteorites floated. Legend has it that before the universe's secret region was used as a battlefield, the Calamitous Star Belt was originally a gigantic planet. It was said that the planet had a diameter of over 10 million kilometers. Taiwo sighed. Later on, this planet was bombarded by one of the royal clans of the Demon Clan, the Thousand-Legged Centipede Clan. It exploded into countless fragments that floated in the surrounding space 8 light-years in diameter. These countless fragments experienced hundreds of millions of years of war and shattered over and over again. As a result, there are too many fragments of planets in this area. These fragments are called fragmentary stars. In this region of space with a diameter of 8 light-years is the Calamitous Star Belt. Taiwo said. Luo Feng listened and nodded. Planet fragments? Has anyone calculated how many there are? Shockingly many. Almost every 100 million kilometers, there will definitely be a planet fragment. Some places are densely packed, others sparse. Anyway, it's all over this 0.8 light-year region. Taiwa smiled. Those planet fragments, probably because they were nurtured by the universe secret region, are extremely cold and sturdy. Even a sector lord's full power attack would find it hard to shatter them. It's because the battlefield is hard to destroy, hence the calamitous star belt has become a famous battlefield. Large groups of alien warriors hide here. Taiwa said, both of you remember this. In the calamitous star belt, there are too many alien warriors hiding. Hence, it's forbidden to battle for too long. It's forbidden to be too ostentatious. Taiwa emphasized, the longer the battle drags on, the commotion will attract the other alien warriors. When that time comes and you get surrounded, it'll be terrible. And if it's too ostentatious, even an official level undying with an undying body, if they dare to be arrogant, they'll be annihilated by the group attacks and be wiped clean. Luo Feng nodded. This disc-shaped E9 grade universe ship finally arrived at the calamitous star belt. Through the external simulation, Luo Feng looked outside. All he could see in the distant space were planet fragments floating in space. These broken stars were everywhere, and a formless killing aura even penetrated through the universe ship and assaulted him. Calamitous star belt. Countless warriors have fallen. The killing aura here is extremely terrifying. Poison laughed. If you feel uncomfortable, you can send a thread of your consciousness into the virtual universe network to relax. No one will laugh at you. After all, you won't be here for a day or two, but hundreds or thousands of years. There's a human sector lord team. Luo Feng looked at the screen on his arm. On the battlefield, humans could naturally support each other. The main thing was to connect to the virtual universe network and keep it open. Then, the virtual universe network would display the coordinates of all comrades and allies within a billion km area. 1. Display the coordinates of comrades and allies within a billion km area. 2. Call for help in times of danger. Within a billion km area, all humans and allies will receive the distress signal. These were the two main uses of the virtual universe network on the battlefield. Of course, there were other functions, like contacting superiors and calculating military merits, etc. Calamitous star belt. There are many foreign races. Mad Dance smiled. Humans too. There are many foreign races too. Discovering the coordinates of comrades and allies within a billion km area is a very common thing. They continued forward. They would frequently discover the coordinates of their allies and comrades. Stop. Our base in the calamitous star belt will temporarily stay here. Taiwa ordered. The ship swiftly stopped. Let's go out. Hua. Luo Feng and the others swiftly flew out of the cabin door. Taiwa first kept the rest cabin and then the ship. The group stood in space. Along the way, we've discovered many coordinates of humans and foreign races in the recent large area. This means that this is mainly our humans' territory. We'll choose to build our base here. Taiwa smiled. The 9 sector lords nodded. Luo Feng also discovered through the screen on his arm. Within a billion km area, there were 2 coordinates. Obviously, there were 2 elite human and foreign races teams hiding within this area. It's that planet fragment. Taiwa pointed into the distance. We've discovered that there's a deep cave within. It's probably left behind by a team in the past. We don't have to waste our own energy. So. The 10 powerhouses quickly tore through the sky, traversing the distance of several million kilometers in an instant. The group of people directly landed on a irregular planet fragment. This broken star had many scars on it. It was obvious that over 1 trillion years, it had been through many battles. This broken star's largest diameter was 1.6 kilometers. The smallest was 1 kilometer. This broken star had a total of 21 tunnels, all leading to the caves within the broken star. Luo Feng and his team followed one of the tunnels and entered the center. This was a spacious cave with a diameter of about 100 m. It's pretty big. Taiwa smiled and pointed to the ground. So, the lounge cabin, made entirely of tungsten flame, stone mother appeared out of thin air and landed on the ground of the cave. "Open the door," Taiwo ordered. The cabin door of the lounge opened automatically, and a group of people entered it. Broken Star area within the cabin. "We've just arrived at the Broken Star Belt. Everyone rest first." Taiwo smiled. "I'll first use the virtual universe network to contact our neighbors within a billion km area, our comrades and allies. Even though the humans have the advantage in the surrounding areas, who knows if there might be some foreign race warriors entering. We won't be able to find their coordinates. And those who dare to attack must have confidence. Just our Sector Lord team alone might not be able to handle them. It's better to communicate with our comrades and allies." Taiwo closed his eyes and connected to the virtual universe network to contact his neighbors. The others all relaxed and rested. They all calmed down. Relaxing and resting was for the sake of better battles. 1 billion points, 10 trillion. Luo Feng sat on the sofa and pondered. "The mission the army gave me is 1 billion points. As long as I complete 1 billion, then I'll be free. I can choose to retire, exchange for treasures, continue fighting, or even fight alone. I'll temporarily stay with Taiwo and the others. I'll swiftly familiarize myself with the battlefield and accumulate some experience. And I'll accumulate 1 billion points earlier." Luo Feng thought. "After accumulating 1 billion points, I'll probably know how to survive in the battlefield. There'd be no need to follow the Sector Lord team anymore. If he followed the Sector Lord team, he wouldn't be able to unleash his full strength. As there were too many people, his true strength would definitely shock them. They wouldn't be able to resist telling their close friends about it. If the news were to be leaked, then he would be in deep trouble." Luo Feng was very clear. His identity as a direct disciple of Primal Chaos City didn't just bring him benefits, it also brought danger, the crazy pursuit of the foreign races. "When the time comes, I'll move alone. I'll be able to unleash my strength and engage in a clash with the foreign races. Even if my identity is exposed, I can swiftly move to another location. I'm still very inexperienced right now. I need to accumulate some battle experience." Luo Feng thought. "While I'm with the Sector Lord team, I'll help them out a little." At this time, Taiwo opened his eyes. Haha, I've already contacted my neighbors. They too are 2 elite Sector Lord teams, led by Undyings. One is a human elite Sector Lord team, and the other is a foreign race allied team. Taiwo smiled. "We'll form an offensive and defensive alliance. If a foreign absolute warrior attacks, the 3 of us can work together. That way, our chances of survival will increase greatly. Everyone rest for a day. Tomorrow, we'll begin our battle." "Yes." The 9 Sector Lord warriors all replied, filled with excitement and anticipation. Today's update was completed. Tomorrow, we'll continue. Looking at the monthly votes, he was still 400 votes away from the first position. Chapter 778. The 7 Sector Lore veterans were very alert upon arriving at the Broken Star Belt. At the same time, they were used to it. They had been in such an environment for too long. Luo Feng was still overly cautious when he first arrived. As the saying goes, the strong are bold. Along with his vision and mental state, Luo Feng quickly got used to the constant threat, the possibility of others sneaking up to his door to kill him. Only Rock. He was a newbie. His strength was far from Luo Feng's sick level. He was only considered an exceptional Sector Lord. This was his first time entering such a dangerous place like the Broken Star Belt. The moment he thought about life and death battles, he couldn't calm down. Along with the thick, killing aura in the entire Broken Star Belt, his entire being became anxious. "Rock, split a bit of your consciousness into the virtual universe network. Play some virtual games and relax." Taiwo smiled as he saw that. "Yes, Captain." Rock was a bit ashamed. "Don't be shy. All of us here, when we first entered the alien battlefield, that feeling of being in a battle at any time, it almost drove us crazy. In our human domain, there isn't such a terrifying place. The newbies are all like this the first time. This is the newbie syndrome." Taiwo smiled. Rock nodded, his consciousness connecting to the virtual universe network to relax. "Captain," Charm smiled gently. "How come Madman doesn't have a newbie syndrome? He seems very calm." "Madman is a normal person?" Poison curled up on the sofa, hugging a bottle of wine. Within the entire team, he loved wine the most. As for medicine, he usually did his experiments in the virtual universe, because what could be done in the virtual universe, as long as the materials were sufficient, could be done in reality. The team members chatted casually. Some closed their eyes to rest. Very quickly, it was the second day. Gather. The undying Taiwa ordered. Poison frenzy dance god, madman, all of them swiftly stood up. This is our first operation in the Broken Star Belt. We have to succeed. Taiwa's gaze swept past the 9. The veterans should know the rules. Newbies, don't panic if you encounter any special situations. Stay calm and watch how the veterans react. Yes. Luo, Foam, and Rock nodded. All right, let's depart. Taiwa smiled and ordered. We've finally started accumulating points. We've exchanged for quite a bit. We have no more to spend. The old team members laughed out loud. These old team members had gone through countless of trials to become Realm Lord Battle Generals, and had long reached the quota of their military merits. Thus, they were free and could use their military merits to exchange for all sorts of treasures. Normally 100k points was equivalent to 1 mixed element unit. Luo, Fong, and the group swiftly left the base. Captain Taiwa Fong and Taiwa Fong was the resting room. A C9 grade universe ship? Luo, Fong, and Rock stood on the fragment, looking shocked at the universe ship floating before them. Right, we will be sitting in the C9 grade universe ship. Taiwa nodded. This C9 grade universe ship's weakness is that it takes a long time to accelerate, decelerate slowly, dodging is slow. However, the moment it accelerates, its flying speed is still very fast. It's easy to fly in the calamitous star belt at sublight speed. Most importantly, there are too many powerful outsiders in the fragmentary star belt. We might be ambushed at any time. The moment we sneak attack, the ship will be destroyed. We have to stay here for a long time. Every time we get our ship destroyed, I can't bear to use the expensive ones. These C9 grade ships are very cheap. Even if I destroy 100,000 or 1,000,000 of them, I won't feel the pinch. Taiwa smiled. Luo Foam was stunned. A C9 grade, it was indeed very cheap. Even 1,000,000 of them didn't even cost 1 mixed element unit. To an undying, it was indeed very cheap. After all, a family with a bit of power would have a large number of disciples sitting in C-grade ships. This was definitely a large scale, just an ancient family, probably had over 10 million C9 grade ships. And the entire wealth of an ancient family couldn't even compare to an undying. Luo Fong and the others were sitting in a very low-grade C9 grade universe ship, flying through the broken star belt at sublight speed. Each time, they would avoid the broken stars and maintain a certain distance. The scanning device I carry with me is worth 120 mixed elements. That's more expensive than 10 million C9 grade ships. Taiwa sat in the cabin, smiling. The scanning device can detect life ripples within a 100 million kilometers radius. Even though we know the coordinates of our close allies, we have no way of knowing the coordinates of the enemies. Hence, we can only rely on the scanning device. This thing, we can't be stingy with the money. A good scanning device is very important. Luo Fong smiled. The scanning device was very important. Hence, before coming to the outer region battlefield, he had exchanged for one. Even with his special privileges and discounts, it still cost him a total of 9 million points. Of course, to Luo Fong, who had 3 billion points back then, this naturally wasn't much. Whether it was the outer region battlefield or the universe secret region, he would still need it. Even after discounts, it still cost 9 million points. If it was auctioned in some auction house, it would cost at least 10 million mixed elements. Normal official level undyings were worth that much. Such an expensive scanning device. Usually only Emperor level undyings would be equipped with it. When we scan the enemy, if the enemy's scanning device is strong, they'll discover our scanning. Taiwa said, of course many of the other races are weaker in terms of technology. Only when we approach them would they wake up. The ship continued to advance. On the first day, it was pretty much all the main human races and their allies' territories. On the second day, there were very few warriors at first, but gradually there were many other races. On the second day, within the ship, quick, change direction, leave the target. Taiwa ordered. The ship slightly changed direction, maintaining its sublight speed. What's up, Captain? Scared to this extent? The succubus and wild dance teased. Tai, however, sighed. We actually discovered 6 undyings. What? Other than Luo Feng, who was only slightly shocked, the others were shocked. 6 undyings gathered together? The hypnotist carrying the white cat stared wide-eyed. Don't worry. However, we've been maintaining high speed, almost reaching the limit of the asteroid belt. And we're completely heading in the opposite direction. Even if they chase, they won't be able to catch up. Taiwa smiled. I think the 6 undyings have discovered us too. Hence, they're too lazy to chase. 6 undyings forming a small team? Luo Feng was curious. To be able to form a small team, the leader of this team may very well have official level strength. Taiwa nodded. Such a terrifying team is definitely a trump card team. We can only be considered an elite team. If we fight them head-on, one official undying is enough to deal with all of us. Flying in the asteroid belt space, they were extremely careful. After experiencing numerous dangerous situations, discover the target. Distance 92. 84 million kilometers. There are a total of 5 targets. They should all be Sector Lord level. Taiwa said, 5 Sector Lords? It's not difficult at all. The white-armored deity smiled. Everyone be careful. Those that can come to the asteroid belt aren't easy to deal with. Even if all 5 are Sector Lords, they should have some tricks up their sleeves. Poison reminded. Understood. Don't worry, little Chun-Chun. After which the ship began to slow down and turn, heading towards the target. The distance is shrinking. 90 million kilometers. 80 million kilometers. 70 million kilometers. Those 5 Sector Lords have been staying in one of the broken stars, not moving at all. I guess their scanning devices are more ordinary, hence they haven't discovered us yet. And their scanning devices should have been blocked by mine. Taiwa said, there would definitely be scanning devices in the outer region battlefield. Mine can detect yours can't detect mine. This was the level of technology. Like before when they were ambushed by the automaton race. The scanning devices didn't detect them at all, and they fell for it. Obviously, the opponent's methods were higher. And this time, it seemed like the human side's methods were higher. After a while, the distance was close to 3 million kilometers. The ship will slow down, stop for now. We've already scanned the targets. These 5 Sector Lords. Everyone take a look. Taiwa's arm screen glowed. A projection screen appeared in midair. On it was an image. Beside it was their height, skin color, etc. detailed information. They were 5 foreign warriors. Their height was between 21 to 25 Amongst the human race, they were definitely top-tier giants. All of them were clad in thick armor. Their upper bodies were humanoid. Its lower body was that of a reptile. It had 6 thick claws and a scaly tail. Its entire body, including its upper body, was covered in green scales. Thunder race. Taiwa said seriously. They're all proficient in thunder. They're on the Bug Clan side. Poison nodded. No wonder they dared to come. These Thunder race are hard to deal with. The older members all began to discuss. Luo Feng looked carefully at the image, clearly knowing what race they were. Actually, Taiwa, Poison, etc. didn't know much about the other races. It was just that after many battles and interacting with their comrades, they had accumulated a lot of experience. They knew some of the abilities of the other races. And Luo Feng knew very clearly. Thunder Fountain Clan. Legend has it that the Thunder Fountain has a sacred land. Every newborn from the Thunder Fountain will be placed in the fountain. Only when these babies are able to use their own abilities to climb up the vines of the fountain and climb out is the nurturing process complete. Hence, every member of the Thunder Fountain Clan is naturally favored by the Thunder laws, naturally able to control thunder and lightning. Their comprehension of the Thunder laws are also extremely good, unleashing them with great power. Just like how the Masha clan is favored by space, the Golden Horn Beast is favored by the Gold laws. Of course, even though part of the reason was due to their talent, the main reason was that they relied on the Thunder Fountain to transform themselves. Hence, in terms of comprehension and law amplification, they couldn't compare to the Masha clan. Even so, compared to the humans, they already had a huge advantage. However, the Thunder Fountain clan had one weakness. The numbers were far from 1/1. 0.0000000 of the humans. Everyone get off the ship and sneak up. Instantly unleash your attacks. Taiwo ordered. Yes. The group quietly left the ship. Taiwo also kept his ship. After which, the group swiftly tore through space towards the broken star where the 5 Thunder Fountain Clan members were hiding. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 779. At this time, within the cave of the broken star, 5 Sector Lord from the Thunder Fountain Clan were laughing and chatting within the cave. Master, we've gotten quite a lot of points this time. At this rate, within 10 years, Master should be able to gather enough points. When that time comes, we'll be absorbed into the sacred land. They had lion-like bodies, 6 claws, and green scales all over their bodies. They had a strong human upper body. The tallest one, about 25 m tall, laughed loudly. Yes, those who looked down on the Master back then will definitely regret it now. They thought the Master would die in the battlefield outside. The Thunder Fountain Clan members were all laughing happily. Among them, the Thunder Spring Clan member, who was slightly skinny and was only 21 meters tall and had a cold expression, showed a rare smile. Back then, I was forced to stay in the clan and was forced into a dead end. I was looking for the only chance. There are only 2 outcomes for coming to the battlefield outside. One is to die. The other is to successfully return and ascend to the heavens in one step. In space, Taiwo and the other 9 were about 100,000 kilometers away from the broken star. Stop, Taiwo communicated. The 9 Sector Lords stopped. The 10 of them just stood there in space. Everyone, don't rush. Taiwo pointed at the distant broken star. The 5 Sector Lords and there shouldn't have noticed us yet. They're still inside the broken star. Let me unleash an attack first. Even if they don't die, they'll lose more than half their fighting strength. Captain, it's up to you. Captain's cannon attack is coming again. The older members all communicated and laughed. Luo Feng watched curiously too. Taiwo extended both his hands. Immediately the earth, undying energy began to gather between his hands. The energy continued to gather, getting stronger and stronger. A yellow ball of light appeared between his hands. The energy within the ball continued to rise, causing Luo Feng's expression to change. This was purely using strength to suppress others. Go! Taiwo fiercely sprinted forward, crossing 100,000 kilometers in an instant. He was only a few kilometers away from the broken star. Simultaneously, he waved his hand fiercely, as though he was throwing a meteorite. Rumble! An undying energy ball became a glaring beam of light, rushing straight into the wide cave of the broken star. The cave needed the Thunder Fountain Clan to fly through. Naturally, it was wide, within the cave of the broken star. Not good. Leave quickly. The skinny Thunder Springs clansman's expression changed drastically as he hastily ordered. The 5 Thunder Springs clansmen only detected the energy wave when Taiwo was more than 10,000 kilometers away from them. The device was in the hands of the Master. When the Master gave the order to escape, boom! The 6 hooves of the Thunder Springs tribe sprinted. Just as they rushed into the dark and gloomy tunnel, a huge explosion occurred. Rumble! The powerful, undying powers were compressed together, instantly creating an explosion. The powerful energy ripples spread through the tunnels and caves. The terrifying shockwave had long since ripped apart the universe space and spread through the tunnels in all directions. Naturally, it hit the 5 Thunder Springs clansmen. This attack was something the undying Taiwo had stored up for a long time before unleashing. Even though he was only hit by the shockwave, it was like 10 Sector Lords attacking him together. Pooh! Purple blood spurted out. The green scales on his body shattered. 5 members of the Thunder Spring clan let out angry roars as their 6 hooves dashed out of the fragmentary star like lightning bolts. At this time, a group of lights flew over from a distance. Kill! The leading, undying, emitting powerful origin law ripples ordered. It's a human undying. It's an origin law domain. The expressions of the 5 Thunder Springs clansmen changed. The undying Taiwo immediately unleashed his origin law domain. Endless yellow dots of light enveloped the area. Every dot was like a mountain, madly smashing towards the 5 incomparably huge sector lords. Even though this origin law comprehension wasn't enough to kill them, it caused their speed to decrease by more than half. Luo Feng, Poison Medicine, and the other sector lords followed the plan and swiftly surrounded them. Everyone be careful. Killing these 5 shouldn't be too difficult. Don't let anyone die here. Taiwo communicated. Don't worry. We understand. The 9 members all replied casually. They too knew that in a desperate situation, it was easy for them to retaliate. Some of their former comrades had been dragged to their deaths by the enemy. Looking at the human sector lord team surrounding them, with the human Undying leading them, the expressions of the 5 changed. I'll deal with that Undying. The skinny one's eyes had a sense of madness. Master! Master! The other 4 Thunder Spring clansmen were anxious. Remember, it's either you die or you live. Let's fight it out. The skinny one was obviously weak compared to the others. If compared to humans, even Luo Feng's side's tallest Mother Flame Clan's hammer was like a baby's. It couldn't even compare to the skinny one's claws. Yes, yes, master. The 4 all held a 15 tall shield in one hand and a 60 long spear in the other. Their bodies were surrounded by lightning snakes. Humans. The skinny Thunder Spring clansman was holding a shield and a long spear at the same time. However, his shield was slightly smaller, while the long spear was a shocking 80 meters long. Moreover, there were complicated patterns on the long spear, and the smell of blood leaked out from the long spear. Receive one of my attacks. The skinny Thunder Springs tribesman roared. His 6 hooves stomped on the void, causing countless spatial cracks to appear in the surrounding space. The long spear in his hand instantly turned into a huge bolt of lightning. With a furious roar, the Thunder Springs tribesman stabbed with the lightning spear in his hand. Rumble. The tip of the spear became a lightning whirlpool. In an instant, the time flow seemed to change. The Undying Tai, who was attacked, felt his reaction speed slow down. His expression changed. Not good. It's a thunder and time law genius that's trained to an extremely high level. Taiwo, who was experienced in the battlefield outside, was very clear. It was extremely difficult for a human to produce a sector lord that was comparable to an Undying, and some of the other races had a much higher probability. After all, some of the outsiders had a higher foundation than others. Taiwo immediately punched out. That punch was like an endless mountain pressing down, along with the intense restriction of the origin laws. Pung! The fist and the spear clashed head-on. That tall and skinny Thunder Fountain person was knocked back 1,000 kilometers, spitting out a mouthful of purple blood. Following which he roared, "Go die! Go die! Go die!" His expression was incomparably ferocious. His 6 hooves stomped on the air as he charged towards Taiwo again. The lightning spear in his hand seemed to have lengthened in an instant, and the skinny Thunder Springs clansman's arm began to tear. The scales shattered, revealing his muscles. Clearly, this move had exceeded his limit. The lightning spear actually left his hand and began to spin. It seemed to twist space itself as it pierced towards Taiwo. The stronger you are, the more points you'll give me after you die. Taiwo laughed heartily. He took a large step forward, causing the universe to explode. Countless spatial fragments formed turbulent flows, but Taiwo was as steady as a rock in the turbulent space. He punched out again. Rumble. This earth-shattering collision caused the surrounding space of a few hundred kilometers to completely collapse. Countless space turbulence surged. That lightning spear was actually sent flying by the punch. It only made a turn in space and landed back in the hands of that skinny Thunder Fountain person with an ugly expression. Pity. I'm not the same as when I first came to the foreign battleground. If it was back then, I would probably be suppressed by you. But now, you're dead for sure. Alien race genius. You shall become my military points. Taiwo's aura was monstrous. At this moment, he seemed to have transformed into a towering mountain in the endless space. He once again punched towards that skinny Thunder Fountain person. This punch was even more terrifying than the previous 2 punches. Master! Master! Miserable cries came from another direction. The skinny thunder fountain person spread his world energy and easily discovered the battle over there. Of his 4 subordinates, 2 had already died. Yeah, one of the thunder fountain person's 6 hooves dashed forward, his long spear piercing towards the illusionist demon lady. Just now, it was the demon lady who cast the illusion, causing the 2 thunder fountain people to be instantly killed by the other sector lords. The demon lady's expression changed. That thunder fountain person's eyes were filled with madness. How many years has it been? Back then, his 30 subordinates followed their master to the foreign battleground. Along the way, they fought and died one by one, and now only 4 of them were left. However, they had successfully killed large amounts of enemies and accumulated huge amounts of military points. Just as they were about to return to the clan in less than 10 years, who would have thought they would be ambushed today? Xiao! A golden light flashed. That thunder fountain person first saw a golden blade in the distance. After that, the blade immediately vanished into space. When it reappeared, it was actually right before his eyes. In shock, he stared wide-eyed. The golden sword pierced through his skull and rushed into his body, crushing his life core and shattering the origin bead. His inner world collapsed, and some items appeared out of nowhere in this starry sky that was filled with the aftershocks of the battle. Thanks. The demon lady looked at the dead thunder fountain person and the distant Luo Feng, blinking. Luo Feng smiled. He thought within, this is the first alien race I've killed since coming to the foreign battleground. Luo Feng, you've earned military points. Babata reminded. Luo Feng smiled. The battle had to be connected to the virtual universe network. Only then could one monitor the battle and determine the military points. 1 million points? Luo Feng looked at the screen on his arm and shook his head. How stingy. Killing an opponent close to a sector Lord-level warrior only gives 1 million points? But this is also my first military achievement. Chapter 780. This battle progressed extremely quickly, especially when the hypnotist charm lady and Wei unleashed their power, easily affecting the 4 Thunder Fountain race members. Only the strongest member of the Thunder Spring tribe, who had fought against the Captain Tai time and time again, could resist the illusion. No, I can't accept this. I can't accept this. The skinny Thunder Fountain man seemed to have gone mad, howling wantonly. In the last moments of his life, he howled in his own race language. He wanted to live. However, in the law domain, he was suppressed. His speed was greatly reduced. He couldn't escape at all. He couldn't escape either. He could only fight. If he couldn't fight, he could only die. There was no other choice. Pong. Under Tai was third punch. The skinny Thunder Fountain man was blasted into countless pieces of flesh and blood. Simultaneously, his internal world crumbled and countless items appeared. Quickly gather the spoils. Let's go. Taiwa ordered. Yes. The 9 sector lords too swiftly gathered the spoils, after which the group became beams of light and left, sitting in a universe ship and leaving at sublight speed. In just a few minutes. Soon, a few groups of outsiders arrived. Our allies are dead. The killer fled so quickly. After a brief investigation, those non-humankind troops dispersed again. The chances of dying in the alien battlefield were simply too high, especially in the Broken Star Belt where the strong gathered. The death rate was even more shocking. The warriors from the other races were already used to it. Within the ship, we've gained quite a bit. Taiwa smiled. That thunder alien left us quite a bit too. Let's split it. That strongest thunder alien was killed by you, Captain. Whoever kills him has the right to choose. Captain, you choose first. The tall and sturdy hammer's voice was low and heavy. I'll take the opponent's spear. You guys split the rest. Taiwa only kept the thunder spear. As an undying, his standards were much higher. The team members split the spoils. Madman, what about you? What do you want for yourself? Luo Feng sat on the sofa with a glass of wine, shaking his head. You guys choose, I don't need it. This is the demeanor of a strong warrior. The succubus winked at Poison. Little Chun Chun, you should also display the bearing of an expert. Don't fight with us. I don't need to spend money to concoct potions. Poison tightly held onto the world ring and started to search through the large amount of spoils of war inside. He took some valuable items, and after searching for a long time, he took 2 items and threw them to the succubus. You guys choose, I have enough. F***CK, what a black-hearted fellow. How ruthless. He took away all the best. Wild Dance, Illusionist Guard, and Deity all looked at Poison with disdain. In fact, they had been through countless life and death situations and had long been brothers of life and death. Such a ruckus would instead increase their relationship. Moreover, regarding the spoils of war, they had long since established an unspoken rule that everyone abided by. Facing his comrade's disdainful gaze, Poison didn't feel ashamed at all. Instead, he said proudly, I'm not crazy. Crazy is a new recruit and already has undying strength. Even if I'm not a core member of the 5 large organizations. He's definitely the beloved disciple of some super expert. He must have a lot of treasures and wouldn't care about these things. Madman, am I right? Luo Feng smiled. Ever since he entered the Owl Planet, no one had been able to recognize his true identity. It wasn't strange. Firstly, there were simply too many humans in the universe, and there were many who looked similar. Also, only a portion of the people watching the genius battle had probably forgotten about him. Secondly, after over 4,000 years, Luo Feng's strength and aura had changed greatly. In the past, he was still very young and inexperienced. Now that he had trained in the beast god path, he was like a beast when he retracted his aura, and when he erupted, his tyrannical aura was shocking. For 1,000 years, to a person, the changes were huge. San Luo Feng had also slightly changed the color of his skin. Dark and light colors would naturally cause visual errors. Even though Luo Feng still had that face, with just a slight change in the color of his skin, others wouldn't be able to tell. His aura and face had changed too. Who would have thought that the star-level punk from the genius battle 4,000 years ago would be the sector Lord Pinnacle before them that was comparable to an undying? Luo Feng's little team sat in the C9 grade universe ship and carefully roamed. If they met a strong enemy, they would retreat early. If they met someone they could attack, they would swiftly and stealthily strike. The battle time was extremely short, and they would swiftly leave after the battle. In the blink of an eye, they had already roamed for close to half a year and had gone through 11 bloody battles. There were 3 times that were more dangerous. Wild Dance and Guard were heavily injured. Luckily, Luo Feng saved them. Madman, I owe you a life too. Within the resting cabin of the ship, Wild Dance exited the world ring and said gratefully to Luo Feng, even if I didn't save you, Poison would have risked his life to save you. Luo Feng smiled. Don't talk about me. Even if I did save you, the price I paid wouldn't be small. Poison, who was squatting on the sofa drinking, shook his head. It's good to have Madman around. Madman's Nan Shun armament can instantly travel through space. It's shockingly fast. It's the best way to save a team member. And the enemies all focus on the captain. They think he's the most important. They don't even care about Madman. They don't even care about sector lords. The god smile was very bright. Without restraining Madman, originally those 3 times of danger, if not for Madman, our little team would have had to risk their lives. However, with Madman, it's much easier. Madman's attack, catching them off guard, causing their plans to fail, causing them to panic, allowing us to turn the tables. Rock, however, sat in the corner of the cabin, only occasionally replying. Luo Feng glanced at Rock. He could feel Rock's disappointment. Rock and he had joined this little team together. When he became the second most important person in the team, Rock still needed the help of the other old soldiers. Naturally, he would feel disappointed. In the past, Rock was full of confidence, a genius. However, in front of Luo Feng, he paled in comparison. After a few setbacks, he'll wake up. Luo Feng thought, Babata, how many points do you have? In addition to the 2 opponents you just killed, you have accumulated 32 million military merit, Babata said. The 2 I killed earlier only added 11 million? Luo Feng shook his head, so stingy. It was stingy, including the first time he killed the Thunder Fountain clan. In this half a year of 12 bloody battles in the Broken Star Belt, Luo Feng had killed many strong warriors of the other races. According to the points he gained each time, he had finally grasped the pattern of his points accumulation. Solo killing a normal Sector Lord warrior, it was 100,000 points. Solo killing an elite Sector Lord warrior, it was 1 million points. Solo killing a Sector Lord warrior, it was 10 million points. This was solo killing. If he teamed up with others, then the points would be split, and he would only get a portion. During this period of time, Luo Feng naturally dealt with the stronger ones, killing either Sector Lord warriors or elite Sector Lord warriors. Only then did he accumulate 32 million points. A normal Sector Lord, the lowest quota is 1 million. That means he has to kill at least 10 opponents on par with him to reach the quota. Luo Feng sighed. Every time he has to fight someone no weaker than him. To a new recruit, it's like surviving a calamity at least 10 times consecutively. Luo Feng shook his head. Of course, the higher the power, the higher the requirements. The army to Luo Feng was the Sector Lord limit, 1 billion points. However, the Virtual Universe Company was giving him 10 trillion points. If I don't leave the little team, just killing normal Sector Lords in 10,000, 1 million years, I won't even be able to gather enough points. Luo Feng thought. What's more, there aren't that many Sector Lord warriors for me to kill. An army camp only has so many Sector Lords. Obviously, the Virtual Universe Company is forcing me to kill Undyings. In the eyes of the Virtual Universe Company, the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader, Sector Lord level should be able to kill Undyings. Within this half a year, Luo Feng and the others returned to their base to rest 3 times, each time resting for 10 days to half a month. One more battle, and we'll return to rest. Taiwa said, yes, after killing, we can return to rest. The team members laughed loudly, seemingly very relaxed. They carefully searched for the enemy. After a mere 8 hours, they confirmed their target. A green biological spaceship was flying in the calamitous star belt. Life ship, it was actually one of the more common ships in the universe. However, it was only popular among the demon race and other races. As for the humans and automaton race, they mainly used alloy ships and metal ships. Biological spaceships and metal spaceships had their own advantages and disadvantages. Within the control room, a male life form that was only 1.6 tall, his entire body covered in dark red scales, reached out with his claws, grabbing a glass of fruit wine and drinking. Beside him was another life form that looked almost exactly the same. Both of them emanated fire origin laws ripples. Captains, the swallowing is complete. The life ship is 100% complete. A similarly short Sector Lord said respectfully. HM. The 2 captains nodded. Within the control room, there were 20 Sector Lord from the same race gathered, even though these Sector Lords were about 1.3 to 1.7 tall. Their eyes gleamed with savagery, their entire body covered in scales. Elbows and knees had spikes. It was obvious this was a race that was good at fighting. Fuwei saw. The scanning device has detected battle ripples. One of the slightly stronger, undying scaled life forms said. Get closer. The other scaled life form immediately ordered. At the same time, check out the opponent's strength. HM, within 10 seconds. We've already detected ripples. There's an undying law ripple. The rest are all Sector Lords. The slightly stronger, undying scaled life form immediately became excited. Just one undying. Prepare for battle. The other undying scaled life form immediately stood up and roared. Hua! The 20 Sector Lords scaled life forms all stood up, their bodies immediately covered in armor. Weapons appeared in their hands, their eyes filled with madness and savagery. P.S. 3 chapters completed. Chapter 781. Fu Wei saw. The target's scanning device should be weaker than ours. He didn't discover us. A slightly stronger undying scale being said solemnly. The sturdy undying scaled being nodded, after which his gaze swept past the 20 Sector Lord scaled beings. Children, since the target hasn't discovered us, then we'll sneak over. Remember, you have to stay close to me and to Alu. That way our scanning devices will block the enemy's detection, making them unable to detect your ripples. Yes, the 20-sector Lord scale beings were in a frenzied state. The distance is shrinking, 10 million kilometers, 8 million kilometers, 6 million kilometers. The thick, undying scale being said solemnly. Slow down and stop. The scale being called Fu Wei Sa ordered. The life ship swiftly stopped. Everyone get off the ship, we'll fly over. Fu Wei Sa ordered. Immediately, the 20-sector Lord scale beings filled with killing intent all rushed out of the ship. The other two undying scale beings too followed. In space, Luo Feng's team was currently fighting with another elite team. Without a doubt, Luo Feng's team had the clear advantage, because the enemy only had 2 sector lords left. Luo Feng, however, gazed at the distant pitch-black space. Enemy. Tai's scanning device was only 120 mixed elements. Maybe it was much better than the Thunder Fountain clans. However, amongst the Undyings, there were many better ones. Just like Luo Feng's own scanning device was even more overpowered, with his authority, low prices, and discounts, he still spent 9 million points to buy it. The auctions were all worth over 10 million mixed elements. Hence, long before the enemy got within 1 billion kilometers of them, Luo Feng's scanning device had already detected them. However, at that time, Luo Feng didn't care too much, because the enemy could very well just be passing by. However, as the distance shrunk and they headed towards the battle, Luo Feng understood that the enemy had detected them. Short life forms. Luo Feng thought. His inherited memories allowed him to recognize these life forms. Horned Devourer clan, one of the 10 million energy life forms, bloodthirsty and fond of swallowing the corpses of other life forms, a very savage race. Just like the rock life forms, some had souls, some didn't. Flesh and blood life forms. Some had weak bodies. Some were even stronger than metal life forms. It was the same principle. Energy-type life forms were one of the most powerful life forms in the universe. There are all sorts of strange races. There was the Masha race that was known as the strongest assassin race. They belonged to the pinnacle of energy-type life forms. However, there were also some common energy-type life forms like the Dragon Thirst race that were still afraid of soul attacks. They couldn't transform as freely as the Masha race because they had a fixed body structure. However, once the body of a Dragonsucker clan member was destroyed, the Dragonsucker clan member would still be able to condense into one. This could be considered as a manifestation of an energy-type life form. However, every time it exploded, it would cause them great harm. Moreover, the Horned Succubus clan could devour the corpses of other living beings to replenish and absorb the energy of the corpses. This was also an embodiment of energy-type living beings. Devouring the corpses of living creatures was something many races in the universe liked to do. In the distance, the approaching scaled creatures suppressed their excitement. The skinny, undying scaled creature ordered, "Slow down, Toru. We'll ambush them and heavily injure them first." Okay. The thick, undying scaled creature was obviously excited too. Chi-Chi, the 2 undying scaled creatures reached out with their claws. Between their claws, large amounts of undying energy began to condense and compress. Actually, this move was similar to the origin crystal of the fire god. The origin crystal of the fire god was compressed to a state even denser than the undying crystal, and then suddenly exploded. Of course, the skill required to do so was too high. Even Emperor-level undyings couldn't rely on themselves to compress such a dense and non-explosive crystal like the fire god crystal. Kill. The 2 undying scaled creatures swiftly rushed forward. The 20-sector Lord scaled creatures immediately followed. As they got closer, the 2 undying scaled creatures were already prepared to unleash their undying energy balls. The Dragon Thirst race, a savage and bloodthirsty race. Luo Feng thought within. 2 undyings and 20-sector lords. That's a little troublesome. Compressing the undying energy? Haha, let's hurry and collect our spoils of war. Once we're done, we'll return to our base. Captain Tai will laugh loudly. This battle was easy enough. Hypnotist Wei laughed. Back to our base. Poison cheered. We can finally rest. The white-robed god smiled. The group of sector lords swiftly collected the large amounts of spoils of war. Luo Feng pretended to survey his surroundings. Suddenly he stared into the distance and shouted anxiously, "Enemies! Enemies! Where are they? We haven't even fought for 3 minutes. Why are they here already?" Taiwa, Poison, and the others all trembled and followed Luo Feng's gaze, only to see 2 beams of light rushing over. Undying energy compressed bodies attack. Taiwa's expression changed, and he immediately extended his hands. Rumble! Rumble! 2 beams of light shot out from Taiwa's hands and shot towards the 2 beams of light. Simultaneously, Taiwa shouted, "Retreat! Quickly retreat!" The Sector Lord team swiftly began to flee. Rumble! The 2 beams of light clashed with the 2 compressed, undying energy fireballs, creating a terrifying explosion. The powerful ripple immediately tore apart the surrounding 1,000 kilometers area. The terrifying, undying energy ripple dispersed in all directions. Luckily, Luo Feng's warning was quick, and Taiwa's reaction was quick. Hence, Luo Feng's team was slightly affected. No one was injured. This undying energy. Taiwa's expression suddenly changed. This fire, undying energy. Poison's expression was solemn at first, but suddenly his expression turned savage, and he said hoarsely, "It's them. It's them." The most silent warrior of the entire team, Tornado, felt the fire, undying energy. One had to know that every undying had a different undying energy. Tornado's expression, too, became savage, his eyes red, and he roared, "It's that group of corpse eaters! It's that group of corpse eaters! It's the corpse eaters!" Charm Lady and Wei. The 2 hypnotists' expressions changed, too. Madly dancing. God! Hammer! Captain Taiwa! They were all in a state of madness. What's going on? Luo Feng and Rock were shocked. Madman, Rock, that team is our life and death enemy. Don't hold back. Fight with all your might and kill them all. Kill them all. Taiwa communicated. Seventh brother, seventh brother. Poison's voice was hoarse as tears flowed from his eyes. He would never forget that scene. Back then, the second strongest 7th brother had fought against the undying scaled creature in order to save him. In the end, he died and was eaten by the undying scaled creature in front of him. Poison had gone crazy at that time. Kill! Kill! Captain Taiwa and the 7 old soldiers all had a mad aura. They all became beams of light and rushed into the distance. Luo Feng and Rock naturally followed. In the distance, a group of beams of light flew over. Haha, you actually didn't flee. We've long discovered you humans who were lucky enough to survive back then. I didn't expect you to still dare to fight. The 2 undying scaled creatures laughed excitedly. They were very clear on the strength of the team before them. This human team only had 1 undying that was hard to deal with. Back then, that team had a fighter who was very powerful, able to fight against an undying. However, in the end, he was still eaten by Tuol Lu. 2 teams. One had 1 undying and 9 sector lords. The other had 2 undyings and 20 sector lords. Both sides met in space and instantly clashed. Children, kill them all and eat them all. The sturdy undying scaled creature laughed weirdly as he ordered. Yes, yes, Lord. The group of sector lord scaled creatures laughed madly, all of them wielding blades, scimitars, etc. Their speed was extremely fast and nimble as they pounced over. Poison's voice had long since become hoarse, and his face contorted savagely. With a fierce roar, his body, which was originally only 1 meter tall, suddenly expanded, growing taller and stronger. At the same time, dark green vines began to extend out from his body, spreading out in all directions. At the same time, Poison flipped his hand, causing a bottle of multicolored medicinal substance to appear. In an instant, the medicinal substance was devoured by the dark green vines. Lie! Poison roared hoarsely, die! Rumble! Poison, who had already become a 12 m tall giant, his chest suddenly flashed with a piercing, engraving gold light. That engraving immediately shone on the dark green vines. The dark green vine that had just swallowed the potion seemed to have undergone a special change due to the potion, the golden light, and the dark green vine's body. Suddenly, a faint layer of golden film appeared on the surface of the dark green vine. 3,621 years. Seventh brother died for me. I've been working hard every day to concoct the medicine, researching the medicine, finally combining the medicine, my race's talent, and my plant life form. Just for this day, just for this day. Go and die, all of you go and die. Poison roared. A full 72 dark green vines were like 72 huge snakes with golden skin, piercing through space and crazily swam over. The two sector lord-scaled creatures that were pouncing at him were instantly wrapped by two dark green vines. Poochie, they were instantly cut into countless pieces. Even the life crystals in their bodies were cut into pieces. Their internal worlds crumbled, and countless items were sent flying. It's you. You ate seventh brother. Die, go and die. Poison, who had become a savage giant, roared as he stared at the slightly stronger, undying creature. Rumble, 72 huge dark green vines covered in a layer of gold, pierced through over 1,000 km, all of them attacking that undying creature. Kill. Tawa also clashed with that scaled, undying creature. Frenzied slaughter. In an instant, he had already reached his limit. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 782. Fuwei Sa. This little fellow is even stronger than before. The thick, undying creature's claws suddenly grabbed onto a 3M long fire-red scimitar and communicated. I'll deal with this human undying. You deal with that chemist. All the children, kill the human sector lord in one go. A 100M long black chain appeared in the hands of the sturdy, undying creature. The flames on the chain burned. It was like a black fire dragon dancing in space. Understood. The sturdy, undying creature snickered. Kill. Kill. A group of short yet savage sector lord-scaled creatures, each wielding a weapon, clashed with the human sector lords. The fiercest battle was undoubtedly between Poison and the bulkier, indestructible creature Toru. Rumble. The 72 inky green vines, covered in a thin golden membrane, frantically attacked Tolu, and the surrounding space constantly split apart. But Tualu just laughed wildly, directly releasing his law domain, causing the surrounding starry sky to be filled with endless flames. The flames crackled as they burned, burning the inky green vines, as well as Poison's body. Die, die! Poison roared, forcefully resisting the flames. Ha ha! Little fellow, you're a sector lord, and you want to use this plant life to deal with me? Toru laughed savagely, the scales on his face contorted. At the same time, he attacked the dark green vines that surrounded him. The fire-red blade flashed continuously. It was like two huge wheels of fire, slashing apart the dark green vines that surrounded him time and time again, even slashing apart the golden membrane, severing the dark green vines. Some of the golden membrane on the surface of the dark green vines were slashed apart, but very quickly a new golden membrane formed. Under the huge wheel of fire, the golden membrane on the dark green vines broke apart. At the same time, the vines were also cut apart. Woo! The dark green vine transmitted its painful consciousness. Imo, go all out. Even if we die, we have to kill him. Poison's expression was savage. Support plant life was definitely the most loyal. Once it recognized a master, if the master died, it would die with him. Since its master wanted it to go all out, this dark green vine naturally wouldn't hesitate. Boom! Rays of golden light and dark green vines swam thousands of miles in the starry sky, desperately besieging Tualu. From time to time, the dark green vines would be cut off, but some of the vines that were cut off would reconnect with the cut. It was obvious that the recovery speed was quite fast. However, every time it was cut, the dark green vine would suffer great damage. Imo, Poison held his heart. Powerless. He felt that, in front of this ugly, undying scaled creature, he was still at a disadvantage. My strength is still not enough, still not enough. Even though I successfully killed an Undying before, that Undying used a huge hammer and couldn't even kill IMO. In the end, I tortured him to death. Poison's eyes were filled with tears as he stared at his opponent and roared in his heart, seventh brother, I must kill him, I must. Poison's battle was fierce and crazy, but the other old members were also having a hard time. Each of them suffered from 2 to 3 Sector Lord-scaled creatures' attacks. These Sector Lord-scaled creatures were extremely savage and didn't fear death. Maybe individually they couldn't compare to them, but with 2 to 3 of them working together, it was extremely taxing for the old members. Illusions are very weak against them, Charm Lady said worriedly. Hammer held a huge shield in one hand and a huge hammer in the other, protecting her by the side. These ghouls, their home is a place filled with slaughter. They have been slaughtering since young and grew up in it. They have long fallen into a demonic state. Their killing intent has long seeped into their bones. To hypnotize them is very hard. We can only kill. I killed one. Wild Dance was also in danger, because he was being attacked by 4 Sector Lord-scaled creatures. Hurting them is useless. Rock said hurriedly, "It's useless even if I hurt them. Rock, don't destroy their life cores. Even if their bodies explode, they can reform again. The moment we pierce through their bodies, we have to destroy their life cores." The God Spirit said worriedly. The battle was in a frenzy. Madman, help us out. Madman, hurry up. Poison is playing with his life. He's in the most danger. Captain Tai was fuming. Luo Feng, who had just killed 2 Sector Lord-scaled creatures, swept his gaze. The golden blade immediately became a resplendent gold light, almost instantly tearing through the space and vanishing. Chi! A gold light appeared in midair and pierced through a Sector Lord-scaled creature's chest, destroying the energy core. Pung! Large amounts of items from his internal world appeared around him. Shua! Another gold light flashed. Another Sector Lord-scaled creature stared wide-eyed, his mouth opened wide, revealing his sharp teeth, after which his gaze dimmed. Shua! 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 Luo Feng's rage. Even though he didn't unleash much, it was still comparable to an Undying. His forte was the golden blade that could pierce through space. His killing speed was shocking. Those 10 Sector Lord-scaled creatures, in just 3 seconds, were all killed. The Sector Lord-scaled creatures' corpses floated in space, their internal worlds crumbling, causing countless items to scatter about. Madman is so fierce, powerful. The other Sector Lord team members couldn't help but be shocked. Actually, it wasn't that easy for an Undying to kill the brutal Sector Lords of the outer region battlefield. It depended on the path. If it was a fighter path, Undying, to kill 10 Sector Lord warriors was a very troublesome matter. And Luo Feng's Nanshan armament was obviously suitable for chasing. What? The elite Undying scaled creature Fu Wei saw, who was fighting Tai, looked shocked at the distant black armored human. Nanshan armament? Nanshan armament's 9th level? Fu Wei saw, there's still an Undying in this team. Another Undying scale creature. Ta Lu was shocked too. What do we do? Retreat. Fu Wei saw ordered. Now the tables had turned. On the human side, there were 3 Undyings with strength. On their side, there were only 2. And on the human side, there were still some other Sector Lords that might not be able to kill them, but they could still affect and weaken them. We can't escape. Luo Feng had just killed 10 Sector Lord level Dragon Clan warriors in one breath, immediately controlling the Nanshan armament to fly towards the thick, Undying scaled creature Ta Lu, who was suppressing large amounts of dark green vines. Xiao! The golden sword of the flowing god instantly disappeared and reappeared 300 meters away, 2 meters behind Ta Lu from the side. Chi! The golden sword of flowing god instantly stabbed into Ta Lu's armor, but it was forcibly blocked by the armor. The powerful impact of the golden sword of flowing god still caused Ta Lu's body to tremble, and the 2 curved blades he was using were affected. Immediately, The dark green vines recovered and immediately pounced towards the undying scaled creature, Tualu. An undying's defense is indeed strong. In the distance, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Looks like the Nanshan armament's 9th level, 1st level isn't very effective. Nanshan armament's 9th level was able to fight even undyings. It was actually split into 3 levels. Its power also corresponded to the Heavenly Bridge's 13th level, 14th level, and 15th level, of which the 9th level, 1st level, when unleashed, the Nanshan Golden Blade appeared and disappeared. Able to instantly travel through space and come out again, the distance was relatively short, usually just 100 m. The distance of the space travel was very short, and the Nanshan Golden Blade's attack power was average, at most able to injure normal undyings. Normally, just unleashing the 1st level was enough to affect undyings, causing them to be unable to chase and kill him, able to protect his life from undyings. In the 9th level, 2nd level, its attack power soared, the distance it could travel was even further. The February 1st levels had a weakness. The space travel would create ripples in space. If it was an undying with comprehension of the space laws, he would be able to sense the ripples and immediately dodge and defend. Only the 9th level, 3rd level. Its attack power soared again. Its distance could reach up to 1,000,000 km. And only the space travel was truly called teleportation. There were no ripples at all, making one unable to sense it at all. Of course, this was just the weapon teleportation. The weapon teleportation was obviously much easier than the body teleportation. However, even so, this was already the theoretical limit of the Nanshan armament. However, obviously, this undying scaled creature's comprehension of space is still very weak, almost unable to sense the ripples. Luo Feng's gaze was cold. The Nanshan armament can't hurt me. The indestructible scaled creature Toru howled, intending to repel the dark green vines that were attacking him so that he could escape. Xiao! The gold light flashed again. Once again, he bombarded the undying scaled creature Toru. Toru was full of confidence due to his previous experience. However, he immediately felt a terrifying force pass through his armor and into his entire body. His undying godly body instantly shook. His undying godly body felt like it was going to collapse, and his hands were completely numb. The dark green vines wrapped around Tolu for the first time. So. The 72 heavily injured dark green vines swiftly shrunk to the thickness of an arm, madly wrapping around Tolu. Tualu struggled madly. However, in terms of pure strength, the 72 dark green vines in the special state were much stronger than him. Go and die. Poison immediately went into a frenzy, howling, "The last time an undying died like this, you're dead. You're dead." Kacha, pa. The bones in Tualu's body were immediately torn apart, following which with a pung, it became a large amount of undying energy. However, the 72 dark green vines wrapped around each other and formed a shining dark green cage. There was no gap at all, completely trapping all the undying energy within. If he had reached the stage of undying body, then Tualu could completely shatter and break through. But Tualu clearly hadn't reached that stage. If he shattered too thoroughly, then even his spirit imprint would shatter. Then he would be finished. Howl, a pained, repressed, unwilling roar resounded from within the dark green cage, after which it was destroyed. The undying Tualu had fallen. 7th brother. Poison howled. His throat seemed like it was about to break. Tears flowed down. He knelt on the dark green vines before him. Tomato continued to write the 3rd chapter. Monthly votes, fight to the end. Chapter 783. Over 3,000 years of regret had been buried deep within his heart, causing him to crazily research medicine to raise his strength, dreaming of one day getting his revenge. Poison had always thought that back then, if his 7th brother didn't tangle with the opponent, he could have easily escaped. However, his 7th brother had saved him, going to block the undying scaled creature Toru, eventually losing his life. I've succeeded, seventh brother. I've succeeded. I've killed that ghoul. Poison shouted within. It had been over 3,000 years. On the surface, he was laughing and scolding. However, this regret had always been rooted deep within his heart. This revenge. He had finally gotten his revenge. There's still another punk. Poison looked up fiercely, staring at the distant, undying scaled creature Fuwei, fighting Taiwa. Go and die. Poison controlled the plant life form. Immediately, the 72 dark green vines swiftly flew into the distance. It wasn't just him. Luo Feng had already controlled the golden blade to fly towards the final enemy, which was also the strongest warrior of the Horned Devourer clan. Die. You can't escape. Die. Hypnotist Wei, Succubus, Spirit Reader Frenzy, God etc., all of them unleashed soul attacks, hypnotism, or long-range spirit weapon attacks. They didn't hope to injure the undying scale creature, but as long as they could affect it a little, it would give Captain Tai with the upper hand. Toru is dead. Fuwei saw his comrade fall, glancing at the distant Luo Feng and Poison. He was shocked within. Those two human sector lords are very strong. The moment they join hands with this human undying, I'll be in trouble. Who knows? I might even die here. I can't care so much. The undying scaled creature Fuwei originally wanted to leave without getting injured. However, with Tai, while fighting him, in the distance Luo Feng and Poison were rushing over. Yeah. Fuser roared out savagely. The burning black chains on his body instantly disappeared. At the same time, his claws fiercely punched towards the undying Taiwa's fist. Gee! Fuwei Sa's fist became a glaring red light. One had to know that an undying's body was an undying body, formed from endless, undying energy. Once he became undying, his body could easily transform into endless, undying god power, and the endless, undying god power could also transform into his body. Of course, he had to ensure that the soul imprint was intact. Fuvazer instantly abandoned both of his fists, almost using up 10% of the energy he had accumulated over countless years. Although it was only 10%, it should be known that every part of the immortal body contained a spiritual imprint. When his fists exploded, part of his spiritual imprint was also destroyed. He was not an immortal body. An immortal body could quickly recover as long as there was a trace of a cell fragment. He did not have an immortal body, so he dared to self-detonate 10% of his body. That pair of sharp claws was already his limit. Rumble, the powerful explosion blasted towards Taiwa, and Taiwa was sent flying. The surrounding space exploded. A huge ravine appeared in the cosmos space. Countless spatial fragments formed a current. The powerful shockwave spread out in all directions. Even the inner worlds of the sector lord-scaled creatures collapsed, leaving behind countless items. Many of them were destroyed by the shockwave. Punk, using the immortal armor on his body, Fuchi withstood the recoil of the explosion. At the same time, he used the recoil to escape. So, in an instant, he had rushed hundreds of thousands of km away. And while he was escaping, the sea of items around him were all sent flying by the shockwave. No one noticed. Amongst the countless items, there was a seemingly normal black storage ring. Bastard, I let him escape. Poison gritted his teeth. He fled really quickly. Luo Feng looked at the 1,000,000 kilometers away fleeing at light speed. When an undying was focused on fleeing and was far away, unless he could teleport, even an emperor-level undying wouldn't be able to catch up. Let's hurry and leave. The commotion before was too huge. If we take too long, there will definitely be many alien teams coming over. Taiwa ordered, hurry and collect the loot. The Sector Lord Elite team swiftly collected the large amounts of loot and left in the C9 grade universe ship. Broken Star Belt, space. The C9 grade universe ship was quietly making its way back, heading towards Luo Feng's original base. Just a little bit more, we could even kill the other undying. Poison had already returned to normal, his eyes filled with madness and excitement. All right, it's already not bad. To be able to force that punk to self-destruct and destroy 10% of his undying body, that's already a huge price. Taiwa smiled. Even after 100,000 or 1 million years, the lost spirit imprint probably won't be able to recover. What's going on? Rock asked curiously. Aren't these races fine even if they get blown up? Why is the price of exploding 10% of the immortal body so high? When blown up, only the body will be torn apart. At most, it'll become undying energy. Taiwo explained, and the undying energy contains energy, soul imprints. It's considered the most basic structure of an undying. When that undying energy gathers, it can form another undying body. However, the moment it self-destructs, that's when even the undying energy completely explodes, not even leaving a shred behind, turning into the most basic particles. Taiwa smiled. Hence the power is huge. That's also why when blown up, there won't be a huge explosion. In the self-destruction, there will be a huge explosion. Taiwa said, that undying energy contains a soul imprint. If it's just a little bit lost, then it can be recovered. However, losing 10% in one go is equivalent to losing 10% of his soul. Even though the imprint is intact, his strength, potential, etc. will be greatly damaged. I'm afraid it'll take a very long time to recover. Of course, if one trains to the undying body level, no matter how much it gets blown up, even if the undying energy starts to crumble and the soul imprint is destroyed, as long as there's a shred left behind, it can instantly absorb the countless shred energies and recover the undying body. Taiwa said, once one reaches the undying body level, it'll be very hard to kill. Not to mention losing 10% of the soul, even if it's 99%, with just a shred left behind, he'll be able to completely recover and instantly. Rock nodded in understanding. Let's toast. To number 7, to our brothers and sisters who died so many years ago, cheers. Cheers. Taiwo, Poison, Luo Feng, and the group all raised their glasses. Even though Luo Feng and Rock were newbies, they could still feel their excitement. From the day we stepped into the alien battlefield, death has always been with us. I've been in the alien battlefield for over 30,000 years, from Sector Lord to Undying. Back then, many of our life and death brothers, the 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th, have all died. Taiwa looked at Poison beside him. Poison took a deep breath as well. Back then, Taiwa was the 2nd oldest. Like Poison, who entered the team later, he had always been taken care of by his 7th brother. 7th brother really liked the childlike cuteness of Poison. Old brothers die, new brothers and sisters enter. Taiwa exclaimed, we all have our own goals. In our team, people like Too Dumb retired after completing their goals. I estimate that in another 20,000 years, he'll probably retire too. I hope all the brothers and sisters here can all retire alive. The group raised their glasses. Retire alive. They raised their glasses and drank it all. Actually, the old members had all completed the basic quota and were free. However, everyone wasn't willing to be ordinary. They all had their own goals. Hence, they wanted to earn more points to exchange for treasures. One had to know, 100,000 points could exchange for one mixed element unit, and it could be exchanged for treasures within the army system. Amassing 1 billion points was equivalent to 10,000 mixed elements. This was practically the entire wealth of a normal Undying. If it was in the human domain, these Sector Lord warriors, even if they spent their entire lives fighting for 1,000 eras, they probably wouldn't be able to earn 10,000 mixed elements, unless they had some special encounters. And in the alien battlefield, as long as one could survive for tens of thousands of years, amassing 10,000 mixed elements was very easy. Of course, the prerequisite was to live for tens of thousands of years. Poison, your 7th brother's revenge has been avenged. From now on, drink less. Taiwa said softly. Poison nodded. Poison walked to Luo Feng's side, looking up at him, his eyes gleaming with gratitude. Madman, thank you. Hee. Luo Feng smiled. And at this time, within the world ring that the spirit reader madly used to store the spoils of war, within that world, there was a blur of large amounts of random items. Amongst them was a very normal black space ring. And within this black space ring, amongst the random items, there was a level 5 weapon. The biological ship was carefully flying within the asteroid belt. Bastard, damn humans, damn it. Within the control room, the undying scaled creature Fuwei Sa roared, madly smashing the wine glasses and other items. Pa! Pa! Explosions, curses and curses in the horned Ravager clan language resounded within the control room. After a while, Fuwei Sa finally stopped. His claws had already recovered. His eyes were filled with madness and savagery. 10% of my soul. This will make my comprehension of the space laws much slower. Damn humans. I will definitely kill you all. I'm afraid you didn't even notice the very normal space ring amongst the countless items floating in space. You don't know within that space ring there's a weapon, right? Fuwei Sa's eyes were filled with savagery. That weapon is my keepsake. It hides a bit of my spirit imprint. No matter the distance, I'll be able to sense it. Sensing the keepsake, naturally I'll be able to confirm the location of you damned humans. Fuwei Sa's eyes were filled with hatred. Undyings were able to teleport within their god country. They needed keepsakes. The keepsake could be an undying crystal, because the undying energy contained a spirit imprint. Or it could be a plant life form that recognized an owner, or even some specially made keepsake items, like the one the Primal Chaos City leader left for Luo Feng. The keepsake had a spirit imprint. No matter the distance, be it the internal world or god country, he would be able to sense it. No, I can't waste time. Who knows? These damned humans might discover the weapon's secret. Even though the chances of being discovered are low, I can't afford to lose. I have to take revenge. I have to kill them. Fuwei Sa gritted his teeth. I have to immediately contact the other Undyings, my comrades, and deal with those damned humans together. Chapter 784. Who am I looking for? Fuwei Sa sat within the life ship, his claws tapping on the armrest, emitting a crisp sound. Suddenly his eyes gleamed. Right, my race Rakaja seems to be in the Broken Star Belt. I'm looking for him. Immediately, Fuvazer split a portion of his consciousness to contact his people through the transmitter on his arm. As he did so, he cursed. The demon race is one of the top races in the universe. But when it comes to transmitting information, they are far inferior to the humans and the mechanical race. Especially the humans. It's said that they can allow their race to enter the virtual universe from anywhere in the universe. And the virtual universe is 100% real. I'm so envious. I'm a great Undying, yet I've never had such a chance. The consciousness technology was already very mature. Even these foreign race Undyings had the chance to enter the virtual world. However, the range was usually very small. Like Earth's virtual world war god shrine, it only covered the entire Earth. The virtual worlds created by these alien races could at most cover a single galaxy. It was impossible for them to cover the entire universe like the humans could. And communication was even more shameful. The universe was too huge. Communication was a problem that was extremely hard to solve. Even within the demon territory, it was only possible to communicate within a star region, a universe country's area. It was like making a phone call on Earth. You could only communicate, but you couldn't see the person. And it had to be within a star region, and that was within the demon territory. If it was outside the demon territory, there was no way to communicate. Of course, due to the special reasons of the outer space battlefields, every battlefield had been set up, allowing the demon race and their allies to use the communication network to communicate, but that was all they could do. The universe was huge. Communication was an extremely difficult problem. Even amongst the many pinnacle races, only the humans and automaton race could communicate anywhere in the universe, and the automaton's virtual world usually only covered a star region. The entire automaton territory, they had hundreds of star regions, and every star region was its own virtual world. The moment one left the automaton territory, even though they could communicate in other parts of the universe, it was only long-distance communication. It was very simple. Only humans. Humanity had the illusory universe, a miraculous existence. Within the illusory universe, it could simulate any laws of the universe, even the fusion laws. The illusory universe could be found anywhere, and even another universe, the primal universe, was within the control of the illusory universe. With the help of the virtual universe, humanity's strength could be effectively combined. It wouldn't be strange if they could dominate a region of the universe and become a peak race. In one of the countless fragmentary stars in the fragmentary star belt, an undying scale creature was holding a cup of wine and enjoying it. A few sector lord scale creatures under him were praising him. Great Rikaja, you are the greatest expert of our West Mountain Territory. Only you can become the future Supreme Lord of the West Mountain Territory. Rikya, those sector lord scaled creatures were loudly praising him. The undying scale being was listening happily. He suddenly waved his hand, and all the sector lord scale beings under him stopped talking. Fwiza, this guy actually came to find me? Rikaja's eyes flashed with a crafty glint, his ugly claws holding the wine cup, swirling the wine in it. Receive. Rikaja. Fwiza, it's rare for you to find me. Is there anything you need my help with? Aya, you must know that I'm very busy now. I'm currently roaming the fragmentary star belt. Who knows, I might even encounter a battle. I can't be distracted talking to you. If you have something to say, hurry up and say it. If not, I might suddenly encounter a battle and be forced to cut off communication. You can't blame me then. Rikaja said. Tualu is dead. Rikaja, who originally wanted to tease him, was startled, his expression turning solemn. The Dragonthirst race was a cruel and bloodthirsty race. Every member of the Dragonthirst race grew up in slaughter. They fought and killed each other, stepping on countless corpses to reach the peak. However, they fought internally. The moment they met with external pressure, the entire Dragonthirst race would instantly unite, not fearing death. How'd he die? Rikaja said solemnly. Through the communication system provided by the spirit race, the two conversed. He was killed by a human. Fwiza said. Fwiza, are you stupid? This is the alien battleground. The four great races and their many subordinate races, countless experts from other races, killing each other. Tualu being killed by human experts is a very normal thing. In these billions of years, who knows how many of our race's experts have fallen? Rikaja said, I want to kill that human team. Fwiza said, Revenge? Rikaja was curious. You can pinpoint their location? Yes, amongst the spoils of war they collected, I threw out a space ring. That space ring was a hidden move that I had long since set up. It's precisely because one day I suffered a huge loss and wanted to take revenge. That space ring's spiritual imprint belonged to a sector lord under me. Amongst the large amount of items within the ring, there was a weapon. That weapon also seemed to have a sector lord aura. However, within the weapon, there was a secret layer. Within the secret layer, there was a token of mine containing my spiritual imprint. Unless they were official or emperor-level undyings, able to sense the extremely weak imprint within the weapon, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to discover this hidden move of mine. You really are crafty. Killing my brother's subordinates. Of course I have to take revenge. You should know that, during battle, the humans would first activate their detectors, and second activate the virtual universe network to determine their merits. These two would have discovered that amongst the countless items of war floating in space, a space ring had appeared out of thin air. That's a suspicious point. Don't worry, of course I wouldn't make such a stupid mistake. Fwiza said confidently. I was engaging in my strongest attack with the human undyings at that time, tearing apart the universe space. The powerful shockwave caused large amounts of items to shatter. Amongst them were a few space rings that shattered. The moment they shattered, large amounts of items appeared out of thin air. I naturally took the chance and threw out the space ring. Even if the detectors and virtual universe network noticed it, they wouldn't suspect anything. HM, you are crafty. Rikaja admitted. Fwiza's actions indeed had no flaws. How's the human team's strength? Rikaja asked. The human team had 1 undying and 9 sector lords. Fwiza said. 2 of them had extremely powerful battle abilities, completely comparable to undyings. One was a chemist, the other a spirit reader using the Nan Shun armament. It was the 2 of them that easily killed Tualu. 3 undyings? Rikaja was shocked. following which he asked, "All normal low-level undyings." Yes, think about it. No matter how strong I was, would I be able to come back alive? Fuiza said, "Undyings were split into undying generals, official-level undyings, and emperor-level undyings. And even the lowest undying general had different levels. The weakest could only pass the Heavenly Bridge's 10th level, while the strongest could pass the 14th level. The moment they passed the 15th level, they would be official-level undyings. From the 10th to the 14th, they were all undying generals. The difference in strength was huge. Undying generals were also called normal undyings. In the alien battlefields, they were naturally split into low-level undyings, high-level undyings, and pinnacle undyings. That's all right. However, even if it's a low-level undyings, it's still a full 3 undyings. You and I together have no hope." Rikaja shook his head. "Don't worry, I won't send you to your death. Since I've set up a trap, then I definitely have 100% confidence. Rikaja, you're just someone I invited. I heard that you're on good terms with the demon race's Meng Wei Na." Fuiza said excitedly, "As long as we can invite His Majesty Meng Wei Na to come with us, even if we don't invite our other allies, just His Majesty Meng Wei Na alone will be enough to wipe out the human team." Meng Wei Na Majesty? Fuiza was shocked. Demon race. Even though their communication system was weak, their own strength was simply too strong. In terms of numbers, they weren't any weaker than humans. In terms of intelligence, even the weakest demon race could match up to humans. And the demon race's innate talent was much stronger than humans. Hence, in terms of sector lords, undyings, etc., the demon race completely suppressed the humans. However, the human race's experts were very strong, along with the virtual universe's effective cooperation. In the real universe, they had never been suppressed by the demon race. The two pinnacle races had been at war for who knows how long. The demon race and humans were different. The demon race valued bloodlines more. Just like the space beast bloodline determined the difference in strength, the demon race valued bloodlines extremely strongly. Hence, there were many high and mighty royal families, as well as a few legendary royal families. There were countless races within the demon race. To be able to be classified as a royal family or royal family, it represented the level of bloodline. As long as one was a member of the royal family or royal family, they would all be addressed as Majesty. Like the Horned Dragon clan and other vassal clans, they were also very respectful towards the demon race. Just like the Golden Horn clan and other vassal clans, they respected the humans. Meng Wei Na Majesty is a member of the Ziqian Thousand Snake royal family. Invite him? Rikaja was a little hesitant. Meng Wei Na Majesty's normal form. Even though he's only a normal high-level undying, when his talent explodes, his battle strength is close to official level. Fuiza said, below official level, he can pretty much sweep through everyone. With him, we definitely have a 100% chance. I can help you, but I don't have a single bit of confidence. Rikaja said, "Give me Meng Wei Na Majesty's communication code. Tell him first, then I'll look for him. I have 100% chance of inviting him to help." Fuiza said, 100% chance? Rikaja was shocked. "You'll know very soon." Fuiza said confidently. Finally, he had finally made it to first place in the monthly votes. Tomato was very excited. Thank you. Thank you to all the brothers and sisters who supported him. However, the opponent was chasing with all his might and was about to catch up. Chapter 785. When the Horned Devourer clan Undying Fuwei Sa communicated with his clansman Rikia, Luo Feng's team was still on their way back to their base. Within the C9 grade universe ship's resting cabin, everyone split the spoils of war. We've dealt with 20 sector lords and one undying this time. There's quite a bit of loot. That fallen undying left behind many treasures in his world ring. Ha! Taiwo laughed, simultaneously ordering, "Wild Dance, you're in charge of checking. There shouldn't be any traces of the spirit imprint of that escaped undying right." "I'll check." Wild Dance held the 6 world rings before him, checking them one by one. Actually, every time the spoils of war were distributed, The moment an undying escaped from the enemy team, they would have to check. There were scanning devices on the battlefield. The spoils of war would be checked again. Hence, the chances of getting hit were very, very low. However, no matter how one defended, as long as one had the intention to leave a trap, they would definitely get hit. For example, one of the sector lords that Tai was team killed had a huge background. That sector lord had some sort of token that belonged to his teacher. The moment he died, Tai's team wouldn't be able to recognize the token. However, the foreign battlefield were filled with danger to begin with, and death was a common occurrence. Very few experts would seek revenge. Hence, the warriors in the outer region battlefield didn't really care. No problem. Wild Dance laughed. All right, then let's split the spoils. Taiwa said, this time Madman and Poison's contributions were huge. Madman used up another precious medicine. You two choose first. Without Madman this time, I couldn't kill that undying Madman. You choose first. You choose. Luo Feng sat on the sofa, holding a glass of wine and smiling. He was very relaxed. After splitting the spoils of war, Luo Feng and his team sat in the C9 grade universe ship and finally reached their base, returning to that broken star to rest. The team members all reflected on the battle, learning from their experiences, training, and improving themselves in the virtual universe. Broken Star Belt within a broken star. The indestructible scaled creature, Fuchi, was sitting alone in the broken star. His eyes flashed with a vicious light. You made me lose 10% of my soul. Despicable humans, I will make you regret this. What's going on with Rikaja? I've already returned to my lair, but he still hasn't told His Highness Mon Wayne? Fuveza waited anxiously. As a vassal clan, the Horned Ravager clan was naturally much lower in status than the Goblin clan. Even if they were at the same level of strength, the Dragonsucker clan's experts had to be respectful in front of the Monster clan's experts. Not to mention Meng Wiener was a member of the Royal clan, and his strength was stronger than his. Although he really wanted to kill that group of humans, he still didn't dare carelessly disturb Meng Wiener. Communication. Fuyza revealed his fangs and smiled. Finally, there was a communication. Raikya, I've been waiting for a long time. You finally contacted me. Fuyza said happily. Among the many royal clans of the Goblin clan, the Serpent clan is famous for being sinister. Although I have some friendship with His Highness Mon Wayne, if I carelessly disturb him, it will make him angry. I have to be more tactful. Just now, His Highness Mon Wayne has already agreed to communicate with you. Raiki said, this is His Highness communication code. Receiving the communication code, Fuyza was instantly overjoyed. After successfully inviting His Highness, I will contact you. Fuyza said, if His Highness agrees, I will naturally follow. Raiki said, then wait for my good news. Pa Fuyza directly closed the communication, then narrowed his eyes and thought for a moment. He said in a low voice, the information I heard last time should be correct. If it's not wrong, then I have full confidence in inviting His Highness Mon Wayne. Immediately, Fuyza began to contact His Highness Mon Wayne's communication code, requesting for communication. A moment later, who is it? The hoarse and deep voice carried a heavy echo, as though the voice came from a deep valley. This voice directly resounded in Fuyza's mind. Fuyza couldn't help but say to himself, although the Goblin clan can only communicate, they can at least simulate a normal speaking voice. In terms of technology, they are much more advanced than my Dragonsucker clan. If my Dragonsucker clan is slightly further away, we would have to use biological airships to transmit messages. We're much more backward than this. Mighty His Highness Mon Wayne, I am Fuyza of the Dragonsucker clan. Fuyza said, I believe Raikya has already introduced me to you. Fuyza, you want me to pursue and kill a human squad? The deep voice said, yes. Fuyza said, countless experts have fallen in the extraterritorial battlefield. Do you want to pursue and kill every single one of them? Is that still war? The deep voice contained anger. Speak. State your reason. His Highness Mon Wayne. Fuyza said respectfully, I believe that my clansman, Raikya, did not introduce the human squad in detail. Otherwise, Your Highness, you would not be angry but rather happy. "Mm," the deep voice said softly. "Speak. That human squad has 1 undying and 9 sector lords. Amongst the 9 sector lords, 2 of them have undying battle strength." Fuiza explained. 2 human sector lords with undying battle strength? The deep voice was slightly hurried. "Yes, Your Highness." Fuiza's scales within the broken star furrowed, smiling delightedly. Seems like his information was correct. "Tell me in detail about these 2 human sector lords." The deep voice said. "These 2 humans, one is a chemist. He developed a special medicine that complements a sector lord plant life form, ultimately allowing that plant life form to have undying battle strength. The second human is a spirit reader, using the Nanshan armament. He can actually use the 9th level undying can be defeated and heavily injure my clansmen." Fuiza said. "Good, very good, very good." The deep voice was filled with excitement. "Fuiza, Dragonsucker Fuiza, from now on, you are my friend. Of course, you cannot lie to me." "Definitely not." Fuiza said. "I heard from Rakia that you can confirm their location?" The deep voice asked. Fuiza immediately explained in detail how safe his methods were. After explaining everything, he said, "I can clearly sense their location now." "Where?" "The accurate universe coordinates are at." Fuiza explained. Actually, the moment the item was too far away, even though he could sense the approximate location, he wouldn't be able to confirm the exact coordinates. However, the broken star belt was 0.8 light years in diameter. An Emperor-level undying could teleport through the entire belt. 0.8 light years was too short compared to the universe. And Luo Feng's base was less than 0.1 light years away from Fuiza. His senses were much clearer. Only then could he confirm the universe coordinates. "That's within the broken star belt, where the human warriors gather." The deep voice said. "We cannot take the risk to enter." "Ah." Fuiza was stunned. "Your Highness, as long as we are careful." "No," the deep voice said. "We have to wait. Wait until they leave the humans' territory. We'll make our move then." Fuiza could only reply, "Yes." "Ha!" The communication was cut off. Within the dark broken star belt, Fuiza sat crossed-legged on the ground, his sharp claws clawing at the stone ground, roaring. The Zichian 10,000 snake race, vicious and careful. The rumors were indeed true. Looks like we can only wait. I believe the human team will leave their base soon. At least we've successfully invited this Zichian 10,000 snake. The news I heard was indeed true. Within the demon race, there are special rewards for killing human geniuses. Fuiza said proudly. Humanity's talent was generally weaker than the demon race's talent. Hence, human sector lords that could match up to undyings were extremely rare. Their numbers were few and far between. In the 7th battlefield of the alien battlefield, Army Camp 026, there were only a handful of them. And humanity's enemy race, the demon race, had special rules. There were special rewards for killing human geniuses. The Zichian 10,000 snake race was just one of the many royal races of the demon race. Above them, there was the royal race. Hence, Meng Wei Na as an unremarkable undying within the Zichian 10,000 snake race. He didn't have much resources. The reward for killing these 2 human geniuses was enough to make him extremely excited. Under the orders of the Zichian 10,000 snake Meng Wei Na, the 2 undyings of the dragon clan, Fuiza and Rakia, headed towards the agreed-upon universe coordinates to gather. The 3 sides gathered. They gathered together and waited for the human sector lord team to come out. The moment they left the broken star belt where the human warriors gathered, they could make their move. It's already been 8 days. They're still not coming out. Fuiza, your token wouldn't have been discovered right. They purposely left it somewhere. Don't worry. They definitely won't find out. My token was hidden within a weapon, unless they destroy that weapon. Unless they're going to go crazy and destroy all the spoils of war. Everyone be quiet, wait. The demon race undyings were like hunters, quietly waiting for an opportunity to appear. Broken Star Belt, Luo Feng's temporary base in the middle of the Broken Star Belt. This time we've rested for 15 days, 5 more than usual. Everyone should have rested enough. Taiwa stood up and smiled. The tall Mother Flame clan hammer said with a thick voice, "My big hammer has been thirsty for a long time. My points are still lacking a lot." Hypnotist Wei said, caressing the cat in his arms. The group of team members all stood up. After resting for so long, they were still in high spirits. After this half a year, I have a rough understanding of the battle patterns in the outer region battlefield. Luo Feng thought. I'm just going to follow the team for so long. The speed at which I accumulate points is too slow. If I was alone, I could definitely go hunt undyings, even stronger ones. However, without 1 billion points, I'm not free anymore. I have to follow the army's arrangements. Luo Feng thought within. Haha, last time we were able to kill an undying. I hope this time we'll have similar gains. Taiwa's eyes were like lightning, ordering, let's go. So. All the team members swiftly followed the dark tunnel and flew out into space. After that, they sat in the cheap C9 grade universe ship and once again began their killing spree. P.S. Second chapter here. Continue writing the third chapter. Chapter 786. The human sector lord team has already departed. The undying scaled life form Fuwei Sa shouted excitedly. Seated on the alloy chair was a man with silver skin, a height of 2 m, with a human body and a snake head, looking over. Beside him were 2 alloy chairs. One had a human body and a dinosaur head man covered in scales. The other had a human body and a rat head lady. Yes, Your Majesty Meng Wei Na, Fuwei Sa said respectfully. We've just departed. It should take a day for the universe ship to fly out of the humans' territory. Beside, another slightly taller, undying scaled life form, Lei, Kuya said. No rush, it's still early. Fuwei Sa immediately shouted. Even if we depart now and fly over, it'll still take 2 days before we meet them. It's not too early to leave now. HM, then let's depart. The snake-headed man stood up. Beside him, the dragon-headed man and the rat-headed lady all stood up simultaneously. These 3 looked like they were made of alloy, similar to the liquid silver guards Luo Feng used back then. They didn't look like real life at all. So. One after another, the 5 figures flew out along the deep passageway. When they flew into the starry sky, the snake-headed man in the lead waved his hand, and a biological spaceship with a diameter of about 100 meters appeared in the starry sky. The spaceship automatically revealed a hatch. I really envy you all. The snake-headed man gazed at the 2 undyings of the dragon clan, Fuwei Sa and Lei Kuya, sighing softly. Even though our bodies are small, we can easily sit in a universe ship. Like us demons, especially the strong within the demon race, it's very difficult for our true bodies to sit in a universe ship. Just like me, just for my body to be able to fit, I need an interstellar battleship. The dragon-headed man beside him nodded. For my true body to fit, it's the same. Actually, it doesn't just have to be the size of an interstellar battleship. And the cabin door needs to be huge too, otherwise my body will get stuck and I won't be able to get out. There are advantages and disadvantages. Beside, the rat-headed lady said. When the 2 undyings of the dragon clan heard this, they couldn't help but curse within. Fuwei Sa was even more jealous. Natural advantages. With such strength, it's just that it's inconvenient to sit in a universe ship. I want to be born with such a powerful body. Isn't it just a huge body? Wouldn't a puppet body be able to sit in a universe ship? Yes, they had a human body with a snake's head, a human body with a dragon's head, and a human body with a rat's head. These 3 bodies were puppet bodies, somewhat similar to mechanical puppets. And the 3 demon undyings' true bodies were too huge, unable to sit in a universe ship. Hence they could only hide in the world ring. They let their puppets carry their world rings and ride in universe ships. The moment they meet danger, they can rush out from the ring. As for the puppet body, it was a very popular puppet body among the demon race that could be controlled through consciousness. It was made of alloy and had a consciousness receiver. By separating a strand of his consciousness into the puppet, he could control the puppet. The world rings in which their true bodies were hidden had long since been refined, and they could come out at any time. Moreover, they were all very weak world rings, and the worlds contained within them were relatively small. Even if they encountered a special predicament with the power of their true bodies, they could completely destroy the entire world and then come out. In short, his real body was hidden in the world ring and carried by the puppet body. It was still very safe. This was a very popular method for the demon race to ride in universe ships, avoiding many dangers. Of course, only the demon race warriors could afford to do this, because the world rings were very expensive. I really envy the demon race's powerful bodies. Our bodies are so small, even our undying bodies are weak. Fu Wei Sa sighed within. If only I had a body as strong as Zi Qian Wanxi. Rikia was envious too. The larger the body, the more advantage one would have upon becoming an undying. Because the moment a sector lord stepped into the undying level, one would be able to connect with the origin grounds of the universe, the ocean of laws. At that time, there would be an endless supply of energy that would instantly transform the sector lord's body into an undying body. This sort of free energy to transform into an undying body was a one and only chance. Some life forms were only 1 or 2 meters tall, transforming into an undying body. How much energy could they absorb? Some were as long as 1 or 2 kilometers. The amount of energy needed to transform into an undying body was naturally shocking. Like the space beasts, their bodies were over 1,000 km long. The amount of energy they absorbed was even more heaven-defying. Maybe in terms of pure attack power, it was only 10 times stronger, but the undying body's undying energy reserves increased by who knows how many times. Demon race Meng Wei Na led the undying team, sitting on the biological ship, swiftly heading towards the direction of the human sector lord team. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. Within the biological ship's control room, 3 demon race puppets sat on alloy chairs. Your Majesty Meng Wei Na, the 2 ships will meet in about 3 minutes. Fu Wei Sa spoke respectfully in the demon language. The human sector lord team's scanning devices are rather low-end. They can't even compare mine. Much less compared to your Majesty. They definitely won't discover us. The snakehead Meng Wei Na nodded and laughed. Very good. By the time these humans discover us, we won't be able to escape. Long Tuesday. Meng Wei Na looked at the 2 subordinates beside him. In a while, the 2 of you and the 2 from the Dragon Clan quickly split up and surround that human. No matter what, don't let a single one of them escape. Understood. The man and woman with the head of a dragon and the head of a rat replied. They only followed Meng Wei Na because he was stronger than them, but they didn't need to be too respectful. After all, they were members of the demon race, and in terms of race, Long Tu wasn't inferior to Meng Wei Na at all. About to make contact, 60 seconds, 59 seconds, 58 seconds, 57 seconds, 56 seconds. Fu Wei Sa suddenly spoke. Fu Wei Sa, Lei Kuya, I'll leave the mission of destroying their ship to you. Meng Wei Na ordered. Yes. Fu Wei Sa and Lei Kuya replied respectfully. Humans. Meng Wei Na's puppet body's eyes gleamed with excitement. Just over 10 million kilometers away from the biological ship was a C9 grade universe ship. Within the resting cabin of the ship, a group of people were laughing and joking. Luo Feng sat in a sofa in the corner. 3 demon race puppets, 2 undyings from the Dragon Clan. Long before that life form ship appeared within the 1 billion kilometers range, it had already been discovered by Luo Feng's scanning device. In terms of price, Luo Feng's scanning device was many times more advanced than the one Meng Wei Na used. From the looks of it, it's coming straight from this direction. Its target is our team. That undying that escaped back then actually dares to come again. Looks like he's confident and has invited powerful helpers. Luo Feng squinted his eyes. 3 demon puppet bodies, the demon race, the puppet bodies they use are usually human bodies, demon heads, humph. Even in their dreams, they want to press down on us humans. Looking at the 2 Dragon Clan undyings' respectful looks, those 3 demon race should be undyings. 5 undyings. No wonder they were so confident. Luo Feng thought. Just relying on Captain Tai Hua and poison, they definitely wouldn't be able to deal with them. It's time for me to act. I've never killed an Undying in the alien battlefields before. The Undying from the Horned Devourer clan was a normal low-level Undying. Because of my help, I got 10 million points, Poison got 90 million, a total of 100 million. Luo Feng thought. A stronger Undying will probably get even more. Killing a Sector Lord alone would give at least 100,000 points, at most 10 million. Luo Feng knew this long ago. And killing an Undying alone would give at least 100 million, at most 1,000 trillion, for an Emperor Pinnacle. The news of the 1,000 trillion had long spread throughout the army base. As long as one could kill a powerful Emperor Pinnacle Undying, they would get such a shocking amount of points. That was an Emperor Pinnacle. That would at least be at the level of Fantasy Spirit Emperor, Bloodthirst Emperor, or Blood Demon Emperor. Powerful gods were also famous for being hard to kill. To kill an official Undying, one usually needed to have the strength of an emperor. Killing an Emperor Pinnacle Undying? Difficult. Defeating was easy, sealing was hard, and killing was the hardest. Luo Feng's quota of 10 trillion would probably take a very long time to complete. However, the 1 billion that the army requested was much easier. 5 Undyings. I wonder if I can gather 1 billion. Luo Feng thought. Let's hope they aren't all 100 million trash. Alert! Attack! A piercing scream suddenly resounded within a ship. What? The team members who were still relaxed suddenly stood up, armor covering their bodies and weapons in their hands. Rumble! The powerful attack followed closely on the universe ship. Luo Feng and the group within the cabin felt a huge tremor, after which the cabin was sent flying. As for the C9 grade universe ship's cabin, it was as weak as tofu under the attack, completely smashed into pieces. Hua! 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 The 4 cabin doors opened at the same time. The Sector Lord Elite squad swiftly charged out in pairs. The Undying Tai were casually stowed away the rest cabin. In space, Tai Hua and the other 10 humans stood in space, looking at the distant 2 Undying scaled life forms. You actually still dare to come? Poison grinned and stared hard at the distant Fue Sa. Of course I dare to come. Speaking a piercing human universe language, the Dragon Clan Fue Sa grinned. Damn humans, you actually made me destroy 10% of my soul. This time, you're dead for sure. Rumble, rumble. In the distance, 2 other areas suddenly exploded with incomparably powerful energy. This caused the originally confident Tai Hua, Poison, and the others to change their expressions. They all turned to look, only to see, in the distant space, 2 huge beings had appeared. One of them had a single horn and a dragon head, an Undying crawling being covered in scales. The other was covered in sharp spear-like spikes. Around its neck was a thin film that floated with the wind. Its head, however, looked like a cute mouse head. Its eyes were rolling around very cute. However, the killing intent within was terrifying. Demon race Undying. For Undyings, Tai Hua, Poison, Frenzied Dance, Guard, Hammer, Whirlwind, Succubus, God Spirit, and Rock all had pale expressions on their faces. Luo Feng, however, gazed at the distant snake-headed demon clan puppet in space. Author's note: 3 chapters completed. Chapter 787. It's over. The god's body trembled. No. The demon lady stared hard at her surroundings. Madman, Poison, Mad Dance, Guard, Hammer, Tornado, Demon Lady, God, Rock. Taiwa's eyes were filled with despair, communicating. This is the revenge of that Undying ghoul. He's seen our strength before, hence he's definitely invited enough helpers. Don't get your hopes up. I'll give the order later. The moment there's an opportunity, everyone scatter and flee. We have 10 people. As long as we're lucky, there's still hope for survival. Let's give it our all. Give it our all. Mad Dance grit his teeth. Even if we die, we have to drag one down. Poison's eyes were filled with madness. At this time, a silhouette flew over from behind Fue Sa and Rikia. It was the snake-headed man. Your Majesty Mengwei Na. Your Majesty Mengwei Na. Fue Sa and Rikia replied respectfully. This scene made Tai Hua, Poison and the others feel a chill in their hearts. My God, there's an even stronger majesty? Human. The snake-headed man stood in front of Fuwei-sa and Raikyu with a smile on his face. His gaze swept past Luo Feng and Poison. Fuwei-sa had clearly seen their appearances for him long ago, so he clearly knew that even if he didn't care about the others in this group of humans, His Highness Monwayne would definitely kill Luo Feng and Poison with his own hands. The snake-headed man spoke in fluent human universe language. Congratulations, to be able to die by my Majesty Meng Wei Na's hands, and to be able to see my true body. Following that, the snake-headed man disappeared into thin air. At the same time, a huge snake that was like a towering mountain appeared in the starry sky. This huge snake was about 200 meters thick and 12 kilometers long. It was much taller than any mountain on Earth. The scales of the huge snake were green in color, and there were many ring-like patterns on the densely packed scales. There were tens of thousands of them. It had 6 wings, all made of flesh. It had a single eye with a black pupil. Hong, when this undying serpent appeared out of nowhere, an unbelievable coldness instantly spread out over 10,000 kilometers. Water appeared out of nowhere and flowed within the 10,000 kilometers radius. Following that, the boundless water within the 10,000 kilometers radius instantly froze, as though it was a frozen region. Even with Taishi's law domain resisting, the sector lords still felt a bone-piercing coldness. 5. Trevor's eyes were filled with despair, stronger than the previous 4. Poison Pill also widened his eyes and gritted his teeth. It's really over. Everyone could clearly feel that the coiled-up Ziqian snake was even stronger than the other 4 undyings added together. Let's go all out, brothers and sisters. We've been living and dying for thousands of years, and we've long thought about the day we fall. Even if we die, we can't let the enemy get what they want. Yes, kill. Even if I die, I have to drag one of them down. When 7th brother died, I knew that one day I would die too. It's here. It's finally here. At this moment, the team members, including leader Trevor, no longer thought about escaping. They only wanted to drag 1 or 2 more people down with them before they died. Do it. Meng Wayne coiled his body up high, his single eye coldly looking down at the 10 tiny humans. At the same time, he transmitted an order, leave those 2 humans to me. You guys deal with the rest. Yes. Boom. Immediately, His Highness Manwei, the 3 immortal demon race experts, and the 2 immortal dragonsucker race experts all released their law domains and charged at the humans from all directions, either coldly or wildly laughing. Brothers, kill. Trevor roared. Kill. The team members were filled with despair as they roared madly. The 2 sides moved in an instant. At this time, an incredibly terrifying energy emanated from the human team. Almost immediately, it made Trevor, Poison, and the others turn to look at the source of the energy. It also made Meng Wayne and the other 4 undyings look shocked at the source of the energy, be it the humans, the dragonsucker race, or the demon race. They all stared in disbelief at the scene before them. Before Luo Feng floated a watergrass-like plant. It was completely golden and grew luxuriantly, with over 100 vines. Bloom. Luo Feng muttered softly. Like a small blade of grass growing into a towering giant, the water-like golden star eater grass spread out in all directions at a crazy speed. Each vine of the star eater grass grew thicker and longer, and the edges of the incomparably sharp blades were like saw teeth. Almost in an instant, it had become a true existence that could be called a giant celestial body. Every main vine was hundreds of thousands of kilometers long, and there were countless leaves on the main vine, which were used to entangle, kill, and devour enemies. The 100 vines made the entire undying star devouring grass, not any smaller than a sun. The fully expanded, undying star devouring grass floated in space, almost like an incomparably luxuriant watergrass. Only this watergrass was the size of sun. Meng Wayne and the other 4 undyings were only tens of thousands of km away from the human team. Naturally, they were instantly engulfed by the countless blades of the undying star devouring grass. just like a little fish struggling in the water grass. How could they escape from the sun-sized, undying, star-devouring grass? My God, my God, this is simply Taiwa, Poison Hammer, Whirlwind, Succubus, and the others were all shocked. They had personally seen a golden water plant that was only half the height of a human expand in an instant, turning into a plant that could rival a star. That vigorous and terrifying undying aura made them all shiver. Undying plant life. This was an undying plant life. Plant life, this is an undying plant life. Fue Sa's eyes were filled with fear. How can there be an undying plant life? Every single plant life is extremely hard to nurture into an undying. Even the lowest level ones have terrifying power and require a huge amount of effort. How can there be someone in the Broken Star Belt with an undying plant life? We're in big trouble. Looking at the countless blades of grass surrounding them. The one-horned dragon, which was covered in scales, and the rat-type demon, which was covered in countless spikes, were a little desperate. One of them was about 8 kilometers long, while the other was more than 5 kilometers long. If compared to humans, insects, and other living beings, they would be huge monsters. However, compared to the plant life, comparable to a star, the 100 vines spread out, covering an area of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Even one of the blades was larger than their bodies. Star-devouring grass. Undying star-devouring grass. Ziqian 10,000 Snake Meng Wei Na circled around, wary of the large amounts of golden blades, preparing to defend at any time. However, knowing the origins of the star-devouring grass, it had no confidence in escaping on its own. This is known as the toughest attack-type plant life. It's incomparably tough. The moment one is trapped by it, even an official-level undying wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time, much less me. Call. I've met a human with an undying 100-vine, star-devouring grass. Taiwa and the others gazed at Luo Feng. Ziqian 10,000 Snake and the other 2 demon undyings and the 2 horned dragon clan undyings looked through the gaps between the huge blades of grass at the distant Luo Feng. They all knew the undying star-devouring grass was released by that black armored human. Luo Feng, however, praised softly, "The blooming star-devouring grass. It's beautiful. To die under the star-devouring grass, it's worth it." Luo Feng said softly. "No, the single-horned dragon, rat demon, and the 2 horned dragon clan undyings immediately screamed and roared, immediately going crazy. Their undying energies surged, all of them struggling. And the large amounts of golden blades of grass that were originally circling and not attacking now seemed like a man eating flour, automatically pouncing over. A dozen of these blades of grass with sharp teeth attacked together. Whether it was the huge, undying demon or the horned dragon clan, they were all completely enveloped. Chi, the golden blades of grass that were completely tangled together were madly compressed, desperately compressing. His bones were shattered, his muscles were torn apart, and his body was completely destroyed. His body was directly crushed by the sawtooth of the golden leaves, which were like many sharp mouths, and was devoured and absorbed. This star-devouring grass naturally had the ability to swallow large amounts of plants, metals, rocks, etc. Even flesh and blood could be swallowed. Howl! No! Explode! The 4 golden blades of grass that were compressed together began to emit all sorts of sounds. There were even 2 undyings that chose to self-destruct in despair. Rumble! Just a few golden blades of grass were destroyed, but one had to know that the undying star-devouring grass was formed from countless golden blades of grass, a celestial body that was comparable to a star. Just like that, the 4 powerful undyings were killed by the star-devouring grass. If it wasn't for the 5 undyings, I wouldn't even bother using the star-devouring grass. Using it is simply overkill, like killing a chicken with a butcher's knife. Luo Feng looked at this scene, not surprised at all. One had to know that the undying star-devouring grass was considered an undying pinnacle level, along with its toughness, Even an official level Undying wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time. Being bound by countless blades of grass was indeed a terrifying thing. Luo Feng, the 4 foreign Undyings have died. Your points have increased by 400 million. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. What? Only 400 million? Luo Feng couldn't help but feel helpless within. Damn, his target was 1 billion points. He had to get 1 billion to satisfy the requirements of the army system. Then he would be able to regain his freedom. This last demon Undying called Mengwei Na is indeed the leader. He's so strong. My Undying star devouring grass is actually unable to completely suppress him in a short period of time. The other 4 are all at 100 million points. This one might be worth even more. Luo Feng looked over, only to see the serpent madly roaring, large amounts of water revolving around it, cold energy emanating. It madly twisted, its huge body infused with space laws as it lashed out, immediately pulling away the golden blades of grass. He was actually unable to suppress it for a while. No, no. The serpent madly struggled, almost as though it could see the scene of its own death. P.S. First chapter here. Chapter 788. Faced with the golden yellow leaves that covered the sky and covered the earth, the serpent Monvina madly whipped its body. Every time it whipped its tail madly, it brought along the pressure of the universe, causing the golden yellow leaves in the surroundings to retreat time and time again. Some of the star-eating leaves were even shaken to the point of shattering. I can't escape. I can't escape. Mengwei Na was extremely anxious. That one eye flashed with madness. There's no other hope. I can only call for help. My close allies and comrades can swiftly rush over. I have to persevere until my allies and comrade arrive. Persevere. Call for help. Call for help. We've encountered a human sector lord with the Undying 100-vine star eating grass. Mengwei Na struggled against the Undying star eating grass while continuously calling for help. Just like the humans, the moment the members of the demon clan called for help, it would swiftly be relayed to all their allies and comrades within a 10 billion kilometers radius. 10 billion kilometers was a relatively long distance. With 300,000 kilometers of light speed per second, this 10 billion kilometers would take half a day to fly, and Luo Feng's little team of sector lords had only flown out of their base for a little over 2 days. Using the distance of half a day as the radius of light speed, it spread out in a spherical area. How many allies and comrades were there? We've encountered a human sector lord with the Undying 100-vine star eating grass. This news was swiftly received by the demon clan and the many elite teams from the other clans. Undying 100-vine star eating grass. Going is suicide. Suicide? Who's going? Unlucky bastard. Pitiful. Who asked you to be so unlucky? Goo goo. To be able to have the Undying 100-vine star eating grass and still be a human sector lord. Looks like this sector lord's background isn't small. Killing him should have a special reward. It's a pity one has to be alive to enjoy it. Goo goo, don't go die, don't go die. The demon clan and the large number of clans under them, the many strong warriors of the other clans only sighed when they received the news. There weren't many who could afford to offend the Undying 100-vine star eating grass in the Broken Star Belt. However, within this area, there were still 7 teams rushing over. It should be a human genius. Within the ship, the man with a wolf head smiled. To be able to have the Undying 100-vine star eating grass, he should have some background. However, no matter what background he has, he's still just a foreign race. Haha, the stronger the foreign race's genius, the greater the sense of achievement killing him gives, the greater the reward. The man with a wolf head and a human body sat at the very top. Below, there were 8 demon puppets. Below them, there were large amounts of demon puppets gathered respectfully. Evidently, the 100 demon puppets below represented the sector lord-level demons. The leader of this team was very famous in the Calamitous Star Belt. He was called Coon Wolf Official, an official level Undying. Even though the Broken Star Belt was filled with alien experts, official level Undyings were still rare. Obviously, this Marquis was afraid of death and didn't dare go to the more dangerous areas, staying in the Broken Star Belt. In the calamitous star belt, this troop was definitely the overlord of an area. In the starry sky, within the star-eating plant that was as large as a star, the Zichian Manshi, which was more than 10 kilometers long, was struggling like a small earthworm. Luo Feng watched as the Zichian Manshi struggled for 5 seconds. He couldn't help but frown. This is troublesome. This undying 100-vine star eating grass of mine is only comparable to an undying general pinnacle. It's slightly stronger than that Zichian Manshi, and its advantage is that it's tough and hard to deal with. Even though it can restrict that snake, it won't be able to kill it in a short period of time. It'll take a long time to kill it. No, this Zichian Manshi will definitely call for help. As time drags on, the demon warriors nearby will rush over. Even though the chances of them not being afraid of the undying 100-vine star eating grass is very low. I can't take the risk. Luo Feng immediately made his decision. Relying on the Nanshan armament, I'm afraid it'll be very hard to kill an undying general pinnacle demon. I'll rely on the armor. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. The black armor on his body immediately transformed and extended, forming a helmet and perfectly fitting black boots. The entire armor was streamlined. The energy within the armor surged and filled Luo Feng's entire body. It was a total of 1,000 times a normal human sector Lord Pinnacle strength. It was enough to compare to an official undying body. Clang! A completely silver blade appeared in Luo Feng's right hand. At the edge of the blade was a blood-red blade. It looked like a blood shadow blade. A completely silver, 6-edged shield appeared in his left hand. Kill! Luo Feng's eyes gleamed coldly. Xiao! Like a beam of light rushing out, he shot straight towards the distant Zichian Manshi. Madman! Madman is a fighter? That is... Taiwa, Hammer, Poison, and the others who hadn't yet recovered from the shock of the undying star eating grass were shocked as they watched Luo Feng's fighter stance, one blade and the other shield, rushing straight over. A sector lord that can use the Nanshan armament to such a level. He's a fighter? Poison's eyes stared wide. He's a fighter, Taiwa said in a low voice. Moreover, it's a very powerful martial artist, even more powerful than him with the Nanshan armament. Just now, Madman's instantaneous burst speed was extremely fast. In an instant, it was even faster than my instantaneous burst speed. What? The team members were even more shocked. Countless golden leaves revolved. As Luo Feng rushed out, he ordered, Planet Eater, use the leaf to surround and block the surroundings. My battle with the Zichian Manshi, I don't want the captain and the others to see. Yes, master. The undying star eating grass communicated. Countless golden leaves waved, preventing Taiwa and the others from seeing the battle. Simultaneously, Luo Feng used his scanning device to seal the surroundings. He didn't want the battle to be seen by Taiwa and the others, to prevent more trouble. Xiao! Luo Feng became a black blur and immediately rushed to the side of the Zichian Manshi. Human. Meng Weina was immediately overjoyed within. If you didn't have the star eating grass, how could you be my match? You actually dare to send yourself to me. Immediately, a terrifying cold energy emanated outwards. Large amounts of water flowed about, sometimes freezing, sometimes flowing. The cold energy and water flowed for over 10,000 kilometers. Luo Feng immediately rushed in. Humph. Luo Feng's eyes were cold. Origin domain, what a joke. Rumble. Luo Feng's internal world projection immediately descended. 10,000 kilometers of space immediately warped, becoming an endless grassland. Even the Zichian Mansh's origin domain immediately crumbled under the pressure of Luo Feng's world projection, completely dissipating. How can this be? The Zichian Mansh's soul, I was filled with shock. It let out an ear-piercing cry in the demon language. The world projection directly crushed the origin domain. Just how powerful was this inner world to be able to produce such a shocking heart world projection? Some of the golden horned beasts that relied on universe crystals to evolve to sector Lord Pinnacle had an internal world of 30,000 kilometers in diameter. Such a huge internal world projection was already able to fight evenly with origin domain. And Luo Feng's current internal world was over 90,000 kilometers in diameter. In terms of size, it was 27 times. The world projection's power had risen by a huge amount. Back when Luo Feng's internal world was 60,000 kilometers in diameter, it could only suppress the origin domain. Now, it immediately crumbled. Let's end this quickly. Luo Feng was like lightning, descending immediately. Roar! The Ziqian myriad snake's 6 great flesh wings fiercely flapped, and its entire body suddenly darted forward. At the same time, it opened its mouth, becoming a huge bloody mouth with a diameter of several kilometers. It swallowed with the power of the laws of the universe, causing the surrounding starry sky to distort. This fierce swallowing, rumble, the surrounding space completely crumbled. Countless pieces of space were completely swallowed by the Ziqian Manch's huge mouth. Like lightning, the black-armored Luo Feng felt the terrifying swallowing power. Die! The Ziqian Manch's soul, I was filled with madness. What a joke! Luo Feng squinted. Rumble. His speed skyrocketed again as he turned into a black beam of light and charged towards the bloody mouth. At the same time, he waved the Blood Shadow Saber in his hand. The moment the Blood Shadow Saber was waved, the surrounding space seemed to be cut open by a giant, and a huge crack was silently cut open. The blade flashed and traveled over 10,000 kilometers. The space was split into two. The beautiful blade flash was so eye-catching it made one's heart tremble. There was complete silence. The Ziqian Manchi still maintained the posture of opening its huge mouth. However, its eyes were filled with fear and unwillingness, following which the Ziqian Manch head split apart from middle. The entire Ziqian Manchi was actually split into two halves. Large amounts of its internal organs flowed out. It had actually been split in two. Illusionary 7 blades. Dutchman's pipe. Clang. Luo Feng casually waved the blood shadow blade. Looking at the Ziqian Manchi that was split in two, to be able to take a hit from the Dutchman's pipe, you should be proud. At the same time, countless golden grass madly surrounded and immediately wrapped around the two halves of the body. Even though the Ziqian Manchi was split in two, it wasn't dead yet. However, the moment it was wrapped around by the countless golden star devouring grass, the countless teeth madly slicing and biting, it had no chance of survival. In a blink of an eye, the Ziqian Manchi was madly devoured by the countless blades of grass. I rely on my armor to barely reach official level, and my origin law comprehension has long since reached official level. Luo Feng exclaimed within. Even though I didn't rely on the beast god conception to unleash the strongest of the 7 blades, burial, just the Dutchman's pipe is already an official level attack. My world projection completely suppressed it. 1 blade splitting in 2, that's only natural. The originally blooming star-devouring grass madly shrunk, immediately becoming a very small star-devouring grass that merged into Luo Feng's arm. Taiwa, Poison, and the other team members were still in shock. South, Luo Feng carried the blood shadow blade on his back and flew over. Looking at Luo Feng dressed as a fighter, Taiwa, Poison, and the other team members were still shocked. They couldn't help but shout, "Madman, we'll talk later. That demon Undying is definitely calling for help. Let's hurry and leave." Luo Feng said. "HM, let's hurry." Taiwa calmed down too. No matter how shocked the other team members were, they could only bear with it for now, swiftly entering the C9 grade universe ship and becoming beams of light, piercing through the skies. P.S. The second chapter has arrived. The update is a little late. However, there's definitely a third chapter. Chapter 789. When the Demon Race's 7 elite teams arrived in this space region, they could only find shipwreckage. Within the broken star belt, within the C9 grade universe ship that was flying at sublight speed, within the resting cabin. Within the cabin, the surviving elite Sector Lord team members all exchanged glances, occasionally looking at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, however, was distracted and conversing with Babata. "Babata, How many points do you have? Don't tell me it's less than 1 billion. Even though I can easily kill that Zechian snake, it's still at the pinnacle of undying general level. Without official level strength, it'll be hard to kill it. Luo Feng communicated with Babata. Total points, 1,461 million. Babata said, "Who?" Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, that Zechian snake's points are 1 billion. However, it's really little. That's already at the pinnacle of undying general level, yet it's only worth 1 billion points. Luo Feng, you're already free now. Even if you leave the team, you won't be punished by the military system. Babata said. The military rules were very strict. As long as one wasn't free, even as a direct disciple of the primal Chaos City leader, Luo Feng wouldn't dare break the rules. Luo Feng nodded. Yes, he was free now. Then, he could leave the elite Sector Lord team. Even though he could chat with his teammates in the team, he couldn't unleash his true battle strength. For example, a region like the Broken Star Belt was still a little too low for Luo Feng. Madman. Within the heavy silence of the resting cabin, Captain Taiwo finally opened his mouth. Captain. Luo Feng looked at him. Taiwo revealed a smile. I didn't expect to have such a strong warrior like you in our team. The Undying Star Eater Grass instantly killed 4 Undyings. You yourself can even kill a demon Undying that's at the pinnacle of undying general level. We've all underestimated you. Your strongest aspect isn't Spirit Reader, but as a fighter. It really makes us ashamed. Madman. Poison stood on the sofa, looking at him like he was a monster. You really are a sick madman. Just casually pretending to be a Spirit Reader and you're able to unleash the 9th level Undying is invincible. Your true profession is fighter. Damn, you're just a Sector Lord and you can actually kill an Undying general level pinnacle. You're too. This is crazy. I'm acquainted with a core member of the Greytax Coliseum, Realm Lord. Even he isn't this strong. I'm afraid that only the core of the 5 great forces would be this powerful. Yes, like the Virtual Universe Company's Primal Region and Absolute Beginning Region Sector Lords, those who have trained for tens of thousands of years. Many of them are comparable to official level Undyings in law comprehension. However, they might not be able to kill a pinnacle Undying. Rock said. Luo Feng was shocked when he heard this. Rock was right. The Absolute Beginning and Primal Region Sector Lords, as long as they could become Undyings, they would usually be official level. If the Rock knew about it, then it must have some background. To be able to enter the battlefield with you is my honor. Rock looked at Luo Feng. Admirable. Madman, in front of you. Even I feel a little inferior. The white-robed god sighed. You are more suitable to be called God than I am. Go. Don't be smug. The other members all laughed. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh too. It was good to be with these brothers and sisters. Actually, Luo Feng could tell. These members had probably deduced from his strength earlier that he was either a core genius of the 5 great forces or a disciple specially nurtured by an absolute being. However, these members didn't want to pry into his private matters. Brothers and sisters. Luo Feng looked at them. They all quietened down and looked at him. Coming to the battlefield outside, other than the simple army requirement, I have other missions. Luo Feng said. I believe even if I don't say it, everyone can guess. 1 billion points is indeed no challenge to you, madman. Poison nodded. You can't possibly just be satisfied with 1 billion points, or even be here for money, because just the undying plant life is enough to make an official level Undying go bankrupt. Luo Feng smiled and nodded, continuing, and just now, I've killed 5 Undyings. I've already accumulated 1 billion points. I'm already free. What do you mean? Taiwo was stunned. You're leaving? Hammer said seriously. Leaving? Enchantress wanted to say something, but didn't. The group looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded. Right, I'm leaving. Taiwo, Hammer, Poison, Whirlwind, Enchantress, Guard, Rock, Frenzied Dance, God Spirit. They glanced at each other, their expressions complicated. Even though they couldn't bear to part with Luo Feng, they could guess such a strong warrior couldn't possibly follow them in the chaotic Star Belt, such a dangerous region. Sorry, Luo Feng said softly. No need to be sorry. Taiwa said, if you follow us, if we fight the weak, it'll be a waste of your time. However, against the strong, we'll become your burden. Your decision is right. Haha, no matter what. Poison was once your madman's teammate. Poison chuckled, seeing that Madman has never said your real name. Seems like your background is very, very big. Hee hee. Anyway, we have Madman's virtual universe serial number. In the future, when Madman feels it's time to reveal your identity, then tell us. Definitely. Luo Feng nodded. Enchantress looked at Luo Feng with an alluring gaze, saying gently, Genius, when you become a big figure in the future, don't forget about us small fries. You only know how to suck up to others. Hypnotist Wei caressed the cat in his arms, glancing at Enchantress. If your thighs are big, I'll suck up to you too. The succubus raised her chin slightly, causing the skeleton-like Wei to choke on his breath, unable to speak. In tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years later, we might see you again. It'll probably give us a shock. Hammer reached out and patted Luo Feng's shoulder. I'll be anticipating that day. Of course, I'll have to leave the battlefield alive. After all they had been together for half a year, Luo Feng had chatted with the group of brothers and sisters for a long time. However, their parting still had to come. These are the spoils of war from the 5 undyings we killed before. Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out a world ring, looking at the group of brothers before him. These spoils of war to me, honestly, they don't have much use. I believe everyone needs them more than me. Following which, Luo Feng used his world energy to control the world ring. How can we do that? Taiwa and the others were all stunned. This was the wealth of 5 undyings, especially the Ziqian Thousand Snake Majesty Menwei Na. It was definitely worth tens to hundreds of undying scale creature Tolu. Madman's vision is different from ours. That Mengwei Na, Madman can kill him easily. These things are really nothing to him. Everyone keep them. Recruit Rock said, Haha, if we want to kill, we'll kill this kind of tycoon. Poison laughed and extended his hand to receive the world ring. Wow, so many treasures. Let me see. This should be worth tens of thousands of mixed elements. This is worth over 1,000 years of our harvest. The members all took turns checking the world ring. Captain Tai was even more excited. This detector is much better than the ones we use. In the battlefield outside, a good detector is extremely important. A good detector can detect the enemy, while preventing them from detecting us. Just this detector alone is worth tens of thousands of mixed elements. It's really a good thing. Madman, you'll need a good detector in the battlefield outside. I have one. Luo Feng nodded. He actually had 2 good detectors. One was bought by himself. It cost a lot. The auction price was over 10 million mixed elements. One was the detector that his teacher, Hu Yanba, had used when he was roaming the universe back then. It was worth tens of thousands of mixed elements. However, the one that Hu Yanba used was better at ultra-close distances. It was weaker when it came to detecting a large range of 100 million kilometers. Captain, regarding the points for killing undyings, how much do you know? Luo Feng asked. He had wanted to ask before, but never had the chance to. Undyings are split into Undying General, Official, and Emperor, these 3 levels, of which the official level usually attains an undying body. The moment they do, the difficulty of killing them is much higher. Taiwa said, and obviously the Undying General without an undying body is the easiest to kill. Luo Feng nodded. Killing an Undying General gives the least points, and it's split into 2 levels. The low Undying General level is 100 million points. The high Undying General level is 1 billion points. Just these 2 levels. Taiwa said directly. The official level and Emperor level are split into 3 levels each. Killing an official level beginner level is 10 billion points. Killing an official level is 100 billion points. Killing an official level pinnacle is 1 trillion points. Killing an Emperor level is 10 trillion points. Killing an Emperor level is 10 trillion points. Killing an Emperor level is 10 trillion points. Taiwa said it all in one breath. Obviously, he had been in the outer region battlefield for a long time, and knew many undyings. He knew much more. Luo Feng couldn't help but nod when he heard it. Thanks. Luo Feng suddenly stood up. Taiwa and the other team members looked over. Brothers and sisters, we're considered life and death comrades. We'll meet again after we leave the outer region battlefield. Right now, I'll be leaving first, Luo Feng said. Be careful, Taiwa emphasized. Don't die. Poison shouted. Be careful. The other races have many methods. None of them have an undying body. The moment you fall into danger, it'll be hard to escape. I'm waiting to hug your leg. Charm blinked. Luo Feng bid farewell to the team members who were adventuring in the outer region battlefield, turning and flying out of the cabin door. So, Luo Feng flipped his hand, and an E9 grade disc-shaped universe ship appeared. He boarded it. 2 universe ships, one C9 grade, one E9 grade. They flew in 2 different directions, vanishing in the distant space. Luo Feng began his true battle journey in the outer region battlefield. P.S. 3 chapters completed. Chapter 790. Luo Feng had killed many sector lords in the half a year he was in the asteroid belt, even killing 5 Undyings. Even though he had given the valuable spoils of war from the 5 Undyings to the sector lord elite team, Luo Feng still kept a few items, like universe ships. These sector lords, and Undyings too, had gone through life and death situations, killing many human and automaton warriors, collecting many ships. However, they were all wiped out by Luo Feng, resulting in him owning many ships now. F-grade universe ship, there was only one, the Yun Mo planet ship. E-grade universe ships, a total of 1,821. D-grade universe ships, 302. C-grade universe ships, there were actually over 800 million of them. It was a pity they were also the most worthless. Other than that, he had over 100 million different level life ships. Even the Captain Taiwa, he was after all an Undying, yet he still used the C9 grade ship in the asteroid belt every day. He bought a huge pile of E9 grade ships. Who knows how many of these C9 grade cannon fodder he bought? Luo Feng thought. Many warriors spent tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years in the outer region battlefields. Usually they would buy large amounts of C-grade ships as cannon fodder. Anyway, it was cheap. Within the control room of this standard E9 grade ship, Luo Feng sat casually on the sofa, holding a cup of hot tea. Buying this advanced scanning equipment, at least I can peacefully drink my tea in the outer region battlefields. I don't have to worry about sudden cannon attacks. Luo Feng drank his tea. The screen on his arm displayed the information of the teams within a 1 billion kilometers radius around the ship. Those alien teams couldn't even detect Luo Feng at all. To be able to buy over 10 million mixed elements, and have the means to do so, at least there weren't many in the asteroid belt. Luo Feng, there's mail. Babata shouted. Luo Feng frowned. His consciousness connected to the virtual universe network. Most of the time in the outer region battlefields, his consciousness was connected to the virtual universe because only then could he know his allies and comrades within a certain range. And during battle, he had to turn it on even more, allowing the virtual universe network to keep up with the teleportation. Only then could he monitor the battle and determine his merits. Send a message to the screen. Luo Feng ordered, lowering his head to look at the screen. The army system gave the order. Warrior Luo Feng, you've already reached your quota and left the team. You now have 2 choices. 1. Continue fighting in the foreign battlefields. 2. Retire, leave the foreign battlefields. The words immediately appeared on Luo Feng's arm guard screen. Continue fighting, Luo Feng said softly. The surveillance system received Luo Feng's reply and quickly sent another mail over. Now that you are free, you have the right to exchange treasures. You can also exchange them for money. Every 100k points is 1 mixed element. Since you are a member of the Virtual Universe Company, every 100k points can be exchanged for 1 point. You can use it to exchange for treasures in the army system, or you can exchange for points in the Virtual Universe Treasure Trove. You chose to continue fighting. First, you could be alone. 2. You can choose to lead an army. This army consists of 100 sector lords, 1,000 domain lords, and 10,000 universe levels. Your mission is to lead this army to fight in the outer region battlefield. If you encounter any foreign race experts, you will deal with the Undyings, and the army will fight the foreign race army. If you choose the first, then the points will be accumulated normally. If you choose the second, you will be willing to lead and protect the army. As you accumulate your points, you will gain an additional 50%. For example, if you kill a normal Undying, you will get 100 million points, and when you lead the army, killing the same Undying will give you 150 million points. Also, when you lead the army, you don't have to protect them, you just have to deal with the foreign race Undyings, preventing them from slaughtering you. Please make your choice. Luo Feng smiled as he looked. Be a nanny? There were quite a few benefits. He could get an additional 50% military points. Even though this was a rather troublesome task, but it would still give him military points. Most Undyings would probably choose it. It was a pity he had many trump cards, especially the Golden Horn, Beast, etc. How could he bring an army to use them? I choose the first alone, Luo Feng said softly. It's been recorded, Warrior Luo Feng. You can request to lead an army at any time. I will now send the latest star map of the 7th battlefield. Please accept it. The Army Control System sent the star map through the virtual universe, after which the connection was severed. Star map. Luo Feng sat on the sofa, holding a cup of tea, looking up at the projection before him. The 3D projection formed a star map. The entire 7th battlefield star map was extremely complex. It was densely packed with special regions, like the Broken Star Belt. There were tens of thousands of them, and there were trillions of regions that were even lower level than the Broken Star Belt. These regions had very few strong warriors. They were usually the sector lords, domain lords, and universe levels activity areas. Broken Star Belt, there are many sector lord teams. Many Undyings lead teams too. Official levels can be counted on one hand. Luo Feng shook his head. To me, there's no challenge at all, and there are too few Undyings. Just finding them is troublesome. The hunting efficiency is too low. The Broken Star Belt wasn't suitable for him. Then I'll go. Luo Feng looked at the star map. The star map was a miniature version of the 7th battlefield, countless locations, with words all around. Flame Sacrifice Continent. Luo Feng glanced at the location. This is the only high-level battle zone within the area of Army Camp 026. Enlarge. Luo Feng ordered. Enlarge the Flame Sacrifice Continent. One of the trillions of points on the star map, the Flame Sacrifice Continent swiftly enlarged. One could see an irregular continent appear on the map. Around this continent, there were even fragments of the continent. Simultaneously, the map had a dense amount of words beside it, introducing the Flame Sacrifice Continent in detail. Flame Sacrifice Continent, 7th Battlefield, Army Camp 026 highest level battle zone, the humans and countless other races that dare enter Flame Sacrifice Continent. If it's an elite team, they'll definitely have an Undying. If it's an army, they'll definitely have an Undying leading them. Every team has an Undying, and the number of official level Undyings is extremely high. Amongst the Undyings, the Undying generals make up about 2/3, official level about 1/3, and very few Emperor level. Here, if one doesn't have an Undying body, then the chances of survival will be very low. Large amounts of information about the dangers of Flame Sacrifice Continent. The dense amount of words finally said, the largest continent of Flame Sacrifice Continent has a diameter of 1.8 light years. There are also thousands of fragments floating around it. The smaller ones are 1,000,000 km in diameter. The bigger ones are over 1,000,000,000 km in diameter. Luo Feng sat on the sofa in the control room, drinking tea and looking at the 3-dimensional projection of the map. Flame Sacrifice Continent is the highest level battle zone within Army Camp 026 control zone. Luo Feng said softly. However, in the entire 7th battlefield, it's considered the 2nd level battle zone. Above it, there's still the 1st level within Army Camp 022 to 036 area. There's an even more terrifying place. However, the weakest that dares to enter there are at least official level. Emperor level Undyings are pretty much all in such dangerous places. Even if my Earth body relies on my armor, my strength is 1,000 times that of a Sector Lord. I'll only have a beginner official level undying body, even if my law comprehension is stronger than a beginner official level. However, I don't have an undying body. Luo Feng shook his head. Even against normal official level undyings, my Earth body would find it tough. That's the most dangerous place, where large amounts of Emperor level undyings gather. I'll wait for the future. Right now my strength isn't enough. Luo Feng nodded. Wait till I become an overlord in Flame Sacrifice Continent. Only then will I have the right to head to that first level danger zone. Babada, let's go. Luo Feng ordered. Yes. Asterisk, 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 asterisk with Luo Feng's scanning equipment. He was able to detect enemies early on. The Universe ship could easily avoid them. Hence this E9 grade Universe ship flew all the way to the Universe transfer point without encountering any ambushes, after which Luo Feng switched to the Yun Mo planet ship. Universe transfer. 50 times light speed. Luo Feng, about 2 hours later, will reach the transfer point near Flame Sacrifice Continent. After reaching the transfer point, we'll have to fly for close to 6 days before reaching the Flame Sacrifice Continent region. However, we have very advanced scanning equipment. The chances of encountering ambushes are very low. However, Luo Feng, you can't be careless. Who knows if you'll be unlucky enough to meet an Emperor-level alien warrior. That level of warrior scanning equipment may very well be higher than yours, and if he discovers that your scanning equipment is so advanced, he may very well sneak up and ambush you. If you encounter an Emperor-level ambush, you'll be in danger. Hence, be careful at all times. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. 6 days later, after flying for a long time in the outer region battlefield, the black disk finally reached its destination. Hua! The control room's alloy door automatically opened. Luo Feng walked in with big strides, ordering 100% external simulation. Immediately, the space outside became clear. Flame Sacrifice Continent. Luo Feng stood in the control room. Looking ahead, I finally arrived. In the distant space, there was a vast and boundless continent. Outside of that floating continent, there were other similarly large continent fragments. In the outer region battlefield for thousands of years, or even longer, I'm afraid I've been roaming the Flame Sacrifice Continent. Images of people appeared in Luo Feng's mind. Taiwa, Poison, Hammer, Succubus, they should still be in the Broken Star Belt. Taiwa, I hope you can all retire alive. I hope I too can live to retire. Luo Feng revealed a smile. So, the E9 grade Universe ship swiftly flew towards the Flame Sacrifice Continent. From now on, Taiwa would lead the elite team to fight the alien warriors in the Broken Star Belt, while Luo Feng would be in the Flame Sacrifice Continent fighting the stronger alien races. And what would happen in the future, nobody could say for sure. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 791. Flame Sacrifice Continent. The main continent and the many shards surrounding it. Even though it was just a few shards, some of the larger ones would take 1 to 2 months to fly across. One could imagine how huge they were. So, the black disk was flying above one of the shards. It's huge. Luo Feng stood in the control room and gazed down at the vast expanse of land. It's just a shard, yet I can't even see the end. Luo Feng. According to the star chart, the main continent is the Yenji Continent's 01 continent. The continent fragment we're passing is 09 continent. Its largest diameter is about 900 billion kilometers. We're flying around it for about 700 billion kilometers. Even if we maintain a constant 290,000 kilometers per second flight, it'll still take us about a month to fly past this place. Babada's voice resounded within the control room. Luo Feng nodded. Actually, when they were in the asteroid belt, Luo Feng's little team could only move at light speed for a few days. Just like this piece of land fragment that revolved around the main continent, flying through it would take about a month. It was completely suitable as a battlefield for the warriors of the different races. An undying leading an army? This is the dark red race. This is the first time I've seen a dark red race life. It's as cute as described in my inherited memories. Just from their appearance, I can't imagine how terrifying these cute dark red race members are. Ah, official level undyings? As the ship flew above Flame Sacrifice Continent number 09 through the scanning device, Luofeng could clearly see the many teams within a 1 billion km area. Just as he guessed, this number is 09 continent. Even though it was just a piece of land, it was huge and had many strong warriors of other races hiding. Many teams, many different races, their standards were obviously much higher than in the asteroid belt. At least undyings could be seen frequently. Luofeng was dazzled by it. After a while, Luofeng didn't have the time to check on the teams, ordering, Babata, you're in charge of the scanning device. Look for me if anything happens. After which Luofeng returned to the resting cabin. It was made from F9 grade metal. Of course, this was one of the spoils of Warmeng Wei Na accumulated over the years. After flying for more than half a month in the sky above the burning Sacrifice Continent's Continent 09, within the resting cabin, Luofeng sat cross-legged. Luofeng, Luofeng. Babata's anxious voice resounded within the cabin. What's going on? Asked Luofeng. Come to the control room. Hurry, Babata urged. Acting mysterious, Luofeng smiled and walked out of the cabin, quickly entering the control room. At this time, the control room had already turned on the external simulation. Luofeng looked down and was shocked. Babata, why did you stop the ship? We were planning to enter the main continent. So why did we stop in the sky above Land 09? Hee. Babata laughed weirdly. Buzz. A projection screen appeared in front of Luofeng. On the screen was an image of a man dressed in a dark green battle uniform. He had pointy ears, and his eyes glowed red like a venomous scorpion. Just by looking at this image, one could feel the coldness of this man. Newland Shan? Luofeng was stunned. Babata, why are you showing me Newland Shan's picture? Don't tell me. Luofeng's eyes lit up. Hee, congratulations, you got it right, Babata laughed proudly. You've really discovered Newland Shan? Luofeng was shocked. Even though he had guessed it, he still couldn't believe it. The foreign battlefield was huge. Even though he had flown across a huge area in the ship and scanned the area he scanned was only a small part of the battlefield. To actually be able to meet Newland Shan, this was really fate. The ship is flying above Land 09. The scanning equipment has always been on. Even though we've seen a few human squads, there's nothing special about them. Just now, we suddenly discovered Newland Shan. Of course, I immediately confirmed the signal and stopped the ship. Back then, this Newland Shan had used many methods to obtain the treasures of Earth. You and your family almost died at his hands. Babata said, to be able to meet him now, according to the words of Earth, it's because the heavens want you to find him for revenge. Luofeng's eyes flashed coldly. Newland Shan. Back then he first sent an interstellar fleet to descend on Earth, using force to intimidate Earth. During the process, many Earth's people died, forcing the elites of Earth to come out from their bases, threatening to destroy Earth's many bases. Luckily, Luofeng became Earth's leader in time, using the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's laws to force them to retreat. The Newland Shan family wasn't satisfied, quietly leaving behind a special elite team to swiftly kidnap Earth's leader, as well as Luofeng's wife Su Xian and his brother Luo Hua, to threaten them. Many methods failed. They even arranged for 2 universe-level warriors to rush over. Eventually one died, and the other became Luofeng's sole slave. Finally, because of the world within a world, Luofeng hired a strong warrior to kill Newland Shan. However, Newland Shan had long since fled in fear, heading straight for the foreign battlefield. One method after another, if any one of them had a problem. If Luofeng had become Earth's leader any later, Earth would have been in ruins, with countless deaths and injuries. If Luofeng didn't succeed in saving his loved ones, they could very well have died tragically. Newland Shan. Luofeng's heart was filled with killing intent. I haven't seen you in over 4,000 years. I wonder how strong you've become. Babata. Luofeng shouted. Scan the current Newland Shan. Project it. Yes. Immediately the screen in mid-air, before Luofeng, displayed a shocking battle scene. One side was humanity, with a total of 2 undyings, close to 200 sector lords, close to 2,000 domain lords, and close to 20,000 universe levels. The other side was the demon race. The leader was a demon undying. It had 4 thick claws. Its entire body was covered in scales. The scales seemed to be covered in a thin layer of armor. It had 2 malevolent heads, one of which had a gold eye. The other had a silver eye. This powerful demon, undying, fighting 1 against 2, was actually able to suppress the 2 human undyings. At the same time, the Sector Lord, Domain Lord and Universe level, a total of thousands of demons, all had different appearances. The smallest was at least 10 m long. The largest reached up to 32 kilometers. Even though there were only a few thousand demon soldiers, their aura completely suppressed the humans. Among the close to 200 Sector Lords, there was a silhouette. Newell Sean, Sector Lord Level 3. Within the ship's control room, Luo Feng gazed below. However, he could only see the endless mist. He couldn't see the battle below. After which he looked up and continued watching the projection, laughing. This Newell Shan's improvement sure is fast. In over 4,000 years, he actually stepped in a Sector Lord Level 3. The life and death training's effects are not bad. Call for help. Call for help. We've met a demon undying. It has the strength of an undying general. A call for help was transmitted from the army system to Luo Feng through the virtual universe network. The call for help was sent directly to all the allies and comrades within a 10 billion kilometers radius. Luo Feng was currently less than 100 million kilometers away from the battlefield. However, due to the advanced scanning equipment, it was able to block the scans from both sides below. Hence, both sides couldn't detect him. However, the humans could still use the army system to know the coordinates of their allies within a certain range. Luo Feng, one of the human undyings fighting below, has requested to speak to you. Babada said. Connect. Luo Feng nodded. Transfer the call to the screen on his arm. A white-robed man appeared on the screen, his expression anxious. Comrade, please help us. My scanning equipment can't detect you. I'm still relying on the army system to know the positions of my allies and comrades. Your strength should be stronger than ours, especially with the 2 of us undyings. We should be able to deal with that demon undying. Please help us. The 2 of us can't hold on much longer. The weaker universe levels, domain lords and sector lords will crumble and scatter in all directions. The sector lords might have a chance to escape. However, the universe levels and domain lords have a low chance of escaping. We're all humans. Please help us. Luo Feng nodded. He closed the call. That Newell Shan, he's really cunning. Luo Feng looked at the battle situation on the projection. As a Sector Lord Level 3, he naturally isn't a match for those Sector Lord Pinnacle demons. He actually got the other Sector Lords to help him hold on. Looks like he's quite popular. If this goes on, he might very well escape. Many universe levels and domain lords will die instead. Luo Feng shook his head. The black armor on his body quickly extended and turned into a black helmet. The boots on his feet merged with the armor. At the same time, a strange stone plate that was 3 meters long and half a meter wide appeared under his feet. It was the Lav Chi plate. At the same time, he held a huge golden shield that was about 2 meters tall with some beast god carvings on its edge. The golden horned beast doesn't need to use the beast god weapon. This weapon is only for my earth body to use. Luo Feng thought. Luo Fu Chi plate, beast god weapon. This was considered Luo Feng's standard equipment for future battles. Rumble. The cabin door had long opened. Luo Feng swiftly darted out, after which he rushed down. In the air above a vast mountain range, the human and demon armies were engaged in battle. On the walls of this mountain range, one could see a few huge ancient carvings. These were left behind by the aboriginals of the Yanji continent. However, after 1 trillion years, the aboriginals were all gone. Even though these carvings were infused with strange energies, they were still broken. Second brother, we can't hold on much longer. Newell Shan said anxiously. We're about to collapse. Prepare to flee. Fifth brother, hurry and flee. Fifth brother, you're only a Sector Lord Level 3. If you meet these Pinnacle Sector Lords, you'll definitely die. Many universe levels and domain lords are beginning to collapse. Hurry and flee. We have to buy time for you. Second brother, you guys, Newell and Sean was anxious. Go. We won't die. Amidst the frenzied slaughter, Newell and Shan's expression was pained. However, within he thought, this is already the 63rd time I've fled from the foreign battlefields. Indeed, it's easier to make friends in a life or death battle. Without these brothers, I wouldn't have lived till today. It's a pity. Over 1,000 years of emotional investment has been wasted just like that. Right as Newell and Sean was preparing to flee, Ong, a cry resounded through the land and skies. A gigantic and incomparably beautiful bird silhouette swooped down from the skies, shocking both sides. P.S. Second chapter has ended. Continue writing the third.